And whereas professional municipal clerks are entrusted with safeguarding the integrity of municipal records, preserving legislative history, supporting democratic processes, and providing impartial services to all members of the community. And whereas the city of Hampton is especially grateful for the leadership, professionalism, and dedicated service of our professional municipal clerk, Ms. Michelle Hood, whose commitment, knowledge, and steadfast support contributes greatly to the daily operation and continued success of the city. And whereas Ms. Hood's dedication to public service, attention to detail, and willingness to serve both the governing body and the citizens of Hampton exemplify the highest standards of the municipal clerk profession. And whereas it is both fitting and proper that the mayor and city council recognize the accomplishments and invaluable contribution of the professional municipal clerk and extend special appreciation to Ms. Michelle Hood for her exemplary service to the city of Hampton. Now therefore be it resolved that the city of Hampton, Georgia do hereby recognize the week of May the 3rd through May the 9th, 2026 as the Professional Municipal Clerk Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Ms. Michelle Hood, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the community they represent. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands on the 12th day of May 2026 and have caused the official seal of the great city of Hampton, Georgia, to be affixed by us. Thank you for your service. Michelle came on in July 29th of last year, and she has stepped into the role and she has done a wonderful job. It can be a task handling all of the different boards and all of the different people on those boards. So we are just thankful for the hard work and dedication that you put into our city. And we look forward to many, many more years with you being with us. Thank you. So we have a second proclamation, and this proclamation was sponsored by Councilmember Brooks. It's the Mental Health Awareness Month, May 2026. Whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being. The month of May is designated as a time to prioritize mental health, reduce stigmas, and increase access to care. And whereas all citizens of the city of Hampton experience times of difficulties and stress in their lives. And whereas stigma leads people to avoid living, socializing, or working with, renting to, or employing individuals with mental health illness. And individuals living with mental illnesses often internalize the stigma that exists in our culture, damaging hopes for recovery. And whereas with effective treatment, those individuals with mental health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives. And whereas each business, school, government agency, healthcare provider, organization, and citizen have an opportunity to help create a broader understanding of mental health, overcoming stereotypes, break down barriers, eliminate stigma, and replace it with help and hope. Therefore, I, Mayor Ann Tarpley, do hereby proclaim May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month in the city of Hampton. I also call upon the citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools in the city of Hampton to recommit our community to increasing awareness, support, and understanding of mental health. The steps our citizens can take to protect the mental health and the needs for appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental health conditions. Together we can encourage acceptance and understanding. Together we can advocate for a better world. Thank you. All right, moving on to the next item on the agenda, our public comments. Who do we have sign up?
We got Ms. Kim Lund.
Ms. Lund?
Hey.
Hi.
How's everybody? So I have two hats today that I'm wearing. The first one I wanted to come representing Hampton Elementary School. And I just wanted to extend on behalf of the school our heartfelt thank you for the City of Hampton for your unwavering partnership that you have with us. They say it takes a village to raise a child, but here in Hampton, we really have something better. We have a community that truly lives by the Henry County Schools motto, which is #BetterTogether. Whether it's supporting our local initiatives, in, ensuring the safety of our students, or simply just being a presence in our halls and at our events, your commitment, that's PD, the City Council, and all the workers at the city as well. Your commitment makes a tangible difference in the lives of our Hampton Hornets. To our city leaders and staff, thank you for investing not just in a building, but in the future of the students who walk through our doors. Your support provides our educators with encouragement that they need and our students with the resources that they deserve. We are proud to be a part of a supportive city, and we look forward to many, many more years working hand in hand to inspire, educate, and graduate the next generation of leaders right here, #here in Hampton. So we just wanted to say thank you as we come to the end of the school year. Chief Turner, Detective Mulder, Detective Arnold, or what is he? Lieutenant, thank you. Let me make sure I get that right, Lieutenant Arnold. But they have all just been fantastic. The mayor, everybody, City Manager Baker, I finally get to see you face to face, but we've been communicating emails, so thank you for that. And then I still have a minute, so I wanted to now change hats to HPC. And Ms. Shirley, do you want to come up too? You want to walk up? I just want to tell about Historic Preservation Month. So Ms. Shirley and I co-chair the Historic Preservation, and I just put a little thing together. So we just met with a wonderful lady, Mary Cloud, and got lots of great information on Rosenwald. So y'all will be seeing a lot of things coming up soon. But I just wanted to say that on behalf of Historic Preservation, each May, we celebrate National Historic Preservation Month. But this year is especially profound as we mark our nation's 250th anniversary. And we are guided by the theme of all people are created equal. In Hampton, preservation is more than about just maintaining old brick and mortar, but it's about the lived experiences of every person who helped build this community. From the landmarks like the historic train depot and the cotton mill, and now called the Hampton Lofts, to the quiet streets where civil rights and more took place in things like the Hampton Rosenwald School and Zion Baptist Church. Our town is a living map of our journey toward a more perfect union. When we protect historic storefronts or restore landmarks, we aren't just saving a building, but we're saving the story. We're ensuring that the voices of the past, in all their diversity and complexity, continue to inspire us today and well into the future. And Hampton is special because our history is shared. By preserving these places, we commit ourselves to the idea that every story matters and that the promise of equality is something that we build together day by day, stone by stone. So to honor Historic Preservation Month, the HHPC has been talking about hosting a Story on the Street, an event where we invite all of our residents to share their stories and memories of life in Hampton to be recorded for future Hamptonians so that the stories will not be forgotten or lost through time. More information will be coming after we have our next meeting. But I hope everyone will take part and help us keep the history of Hampton alive for another 250 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Oliver.
Ms. Oliver?
Comment, I have to get up. Okay. Do I have to give you all my information? Esma Oliver, 20 College Street, Hampton, Georgia, 30228.
All right.
All right. I want to address a problem. It was a deeply troubling process surrounding the appointment of the Hampton new city manager. What the public witnessed was not transparency. It was not fairness. And it certainly was not a hiring process that reflected integrity or equal opportunity. One of the most important leadership positions in this city appears to have been handled in a way that excluded meaningful competition, limited public awareness, and denied qualified individuals a genuine opportunity to apply, and thus unacceptable. When a city manager is selected through what appears to be a closed-door process rather than an open and properly vetted search, it sends a message that political convenience matters more than public trust. Residents are left wondering whether the outcome was predetermined from the beginning. The lack of transparency surrounding this appointment has damaged confidence in this council and reinforced the growing belief that decisions are being made among insiders rather than in the interests of the people of Hampton. Public officials cannot continue demanding trust from the citizens while engaging in conduct that creates the appearance of favoritism and exclusion. Leadership positions funded by taxpayers are not personal appointments to be quietly handed out behind the scenes. They should involve professionalism, transparency, and ethical responsibility. Instead, what the public saw was a process lacking openness, lacking accountability, and lacking respect for the citizens who deserve honest government. I repeat, honest government. Any official involved in bypassing a fair, transparent process should face public reprimand for failing to uphold the ethical standards expected of elected leadership. Because this issue is larger than one appointment, this is about a pattern.
I'm sorry, Ms. Oliver, your time is up.
Your time is up.
Okay, all right. I don't know, did you sign up? Can she yield her time to me?
Did you sign up for the
I thought we changed the public comments.
3
policy.
minutes and a half? Yeah, that's
But I thought you couldn't yield
Oh,
your
I thought
time.
you couldn't get. No, you couldn't.
Okay,
All right.
okay, y'all ain't gonna prove it. I just want to say, that whole process of hiring the city manager is
We heard
illegal.
you. We heard. you.
All right.
Thank you. Who's up next, Michelle?
That's it.
All right. Moving on to youth council update. Right now, we don't have a youth council update. They are preparing for their end of the year ceremony. Next, we have our city manager update. I believe we're going to, the first person up is going to be our police update.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Month of April. Citizens contact 789. We did have 2 complaints. Both were investigated by internal review and unfounded. Next, I want to talk about our response time, and I do want to put a little bit of context behind it. I tout our response time almost every month, but I think to put it in some context for you guys matters. The average response time, while there's not a national database, there is a national average. They say a little bit over 10 minutes. Our response time last month was 3 minutes and 44 seconds, and that doesn't just happen. I know I say it a lot, but Captain Brownlee, Lieutenant Arnold, and our patrol shift, along with dispatch and our governing body, you guys get as much credit as we do because you give us the resources for us to be able to maintain that excellent response time that we have. It's very easy to sit at 4 McDonough Street and take all the credit, but the credit belongs with the mayor and council and the city manager for his direction. The things we put in place is we don't just send people out, we got 3 on a shift and it magically happens. It happens by analyzing statistical data and by the resources you guys provided. So thank you guys for doing that. That's all I have this month.
Thank you so very much. Any questions from the council? Thank you, Chief. Next up is gonna be our Public Works Department. Can I ask Director King come forward?
Good evening, Madam Mayor,
Good evening.
City Council members, and citizens of Hampton. Busy work, as always, around the city. You know, we're getting heavy into the grass cutting season right now, so you see us out on the roads, please give us a little way to get around. Next slide, please. McBrayer Park is moving along. We're still on schedule to be complete roughly around the 25th of next month. So, I'll let you know more as time proceeds, but it's looking good. Past month, we did 109 work orders, swept 726 miles of road, and had 25 citizen contacts. And that's a picture of a driveway apron we completed for over at 108 Dana Street. So, any questions from anyone? No? Thank you for your time.
Any questions from the council?
I just wanted to say, thank you for responding to some questions that I had about a project. Thank you for responding.
Madam Mayor and Council, how y'all doing this afternoon?
This is Director West. He just came on. He's
So,
the director.
Electric Division, we had 86 work orders total, one outage. We had some pole replacements, 2 new ones on West King, approximately 662 feet of underground service line installed. Wastewater had 70 work orders total. The grit chamber repairs were completed. We had issues with that clarifier. It was draining clean, and hope we'll have it up and running sooner rather than later. Water, we had a total of 252 work orders, 23 leaks repaired, and there are currently no active leaks in our system, knock on wood, and our loss is roughly 28%. Again, we want to try to get that down. Got a visit from the EBD. That was a productive visit. They wanted to see the site and the improvements we made. But other than that, we're just going to keep trying to do what we can when we can, as best as we can. So if anybody got any questions, comments, or concerns, I'd love to hear.
Any comments from the council?
Congratulations on the EPD.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, moving on to our financial update. Director Forsythe.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, City Manager, Legal, Clerk. I'd like to open up with a very positive, something appeared on my desk yesterday from the GFOA that we have got the third triple award. So we are the 10th city in Georgia of 535 cities. We're the 10th to receive it. So we're in the 2% tile.
That's right.
So I'm hoping that we can keep that up. I can't do it without the 6 ladies that works with me. And my wife recently beat me up one day. I said, what, don't you believe in men? Where are the other men? I said, I don't know, baby. They haven't arrived yet. So Grace Buckley, as you know, Grace retired. She was definitely the lead on the budget award. This PAFRA, which is a popular financial annual report, the big lead was Diane Moore. We try to spread the pain around. Katrina now is taking Grace's place, and so she's right now we're in the process of providing the 3 reports. Kim, as you know, Campbell, Yvette Brown, Carol Baker. If they don't do their job efficiently and properly, it affects all work. And so it's one great team, and I really appreciate it. Now, the popular annual financial report, what it is basically, it's taking the 108 financial report, the page, 108 pages financial report, and we condense it into 20 pages. It gives the top level, and it's written for laymen. I'm sure you guys got a copy, and so before you go to bed, you can read it. It's good reading, very good reading. And that's it. The next thing I would like to do is present the 6 months quarter, so you can see where we're heading and what it looks like. On the general fund revenue, as you note, at the lines I'm going to emphasize is at the last to the right, the last percentage, it's 70%. We've collected 70% of revenue. And the main reason is we've already collected 95% of our property tax because it was due in December of 25. And license and permit seems high because a data center provided $500,000. So, you know, that's impacted in there. Everything else is running high, but be careful, you don't receive all revenue at one time. You know, it's spread around. So that's, I like to bring that to your attention. Next page is the expenditures. And the expenditures at the bottom again, I concentrate on the percentages. It's 46%. It's 6 months, so you use it like a 6 months as just the average of what you expect. If you're over and under, you want to know why. And so, but you're more concerned if someone is over 50%. Are they, you know, you want to, and we have look at this. My department is over. Would you believe that? And information technology. I think IT bought a lot of equipment, which will not be bought again. You know what I'm saying? And so it got hit within the 6 months. I had a situation where I had to pay a very old 940 bill to settle with IRS, because IRS bills, you don't pay it, just keep getting higher and higher and higher. So we got rid of that, and we may have a couple of other things, but everyone else is under. So that's fantastic. And so the very last line, we're showing a profit of $2,452,000. But be careful, half of the tax is really for the second half. So automatically I can bring that down to 1.4, and then additional 500, so I can bring that to 900,000, just like that. So, but that's I mean, I think we're on a very good track. Now, the other thing I would like to turn to now is the utilities. The utilities is more of a challenge, and the reason is because not much happened in Capitol, so I'm not going to spend too much time with it. I mean, that will come. But when it comes with big numbers, huge. Right, here we go. Enterprise funds. Enterprise funds, again, I concentrate on the percent. It's 46%. It should be roughly 40, maybe 48. Well, the first 2 quarters is always the lowest consumption quarter, because I check the consumption analytically, we check it, and it's down to 2%. And I have solar panels. My solar panels told me the last 3 months were the cool months. So when they're cool, you don't spend money on electricity, etc. So I'm not shocked with what I'm seeing. We should catch up in the next 2 quarters. Where it's going to be much harder. Okay, the next page. In expenses, the only one, two stands out as over 50%. Overall, though, the department is at 50%. See right in the middle? You see 50% to the right? So it's half, which I'm expecting, which is a good sign. But within there, I wanted to understand why, like electric. I went and I studied electric, and what has happened with electric, there were 2 line items. It's supplies. One of them had like 128,000 in it. We never even budget for it. It's electrical supplies. It's very difficult as one to know when subdivisions are coming online. And so we do our best to estimate it. The other one we estimate too low. So that's the reason why it's over. If you remove those oddities, it comes to 49%. So I think that's okay. Now, in the middle, is very telling, in the middle, be careful. In the middle, 408,000 loss, that's with depreciation. Now, if you back out depreciation, which is not a cash outflow, we're losing a quarter of 246K. But remember, we had low consumption. So this is not disappointing or unexpected. It usually happens. So that's the highlight. Very few transactions occurred on the capital projects. And basically that's it. If anyone has any questions.
Any questions from the council? Any discussion from the public? Thank you, Mr. Forsyth.
Thank you.
Now we will be moving on to our Main Street report. Our Main Street event coordinator, Ms. Tova Treadwell.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor, Council, City Manager, citizens. I am Tova Treadwell, the Main Street Coordinator for the City of Hampton, and I'm here to give you a Main Street update. Highlights. We went to the Main Street Conference here in April, the Main Street Conference in Tulsa, and the DDA and also members of the Main Street Board took classes, workshops in economic development, tours of thriving Main Street communities, volunteers, community growth, events that attract visitors and drive revenue, marketing strategies, and vibrant downtown. The Yellow Pollen generated over $5,000 for that event. We had over 5,000 attendees per placer. We had over 75 vendors because we had vendors coming in at the last minute to see if they could be vendors for the event. I mean, like up until the day of. So we I polled the downtown businesses to ask them what they thought of the event. And each one of the restaurants and stores that I entered on that day were crowded, from the restaurants, business owners, and also the vendors. So I think we did pretty good. We had excellent feedback. And it was a direct economic impact for the City of Hampton. Volunteer Spotlight. So the Yellow Pollen Festival was a really large event for me, and the key to the success of the Yellow Pollen Festival was the volunteers. Our newly formed volunteer board showed up in a major way, and the results speak for themselves. Hampton Day Committee was on board, DDA board, Main Street board, HHPC board as well. But I have to give a special thanks to Michelle Rutabagas for helping me pull it all together. Miss Nita, Linda, Beverly, Mary Ellen, and her mother, and also Chiquita from the Hampton Day Committee. I need to give a special shout out to Mrs. Dawn Greer that made me promise not to do this, but I crossed my fingers. Miss Dawn Greer stayed there with me step by step to 12 o'clock in the morning on Friday, got up and was there at 7 a.m. to help me to get everything organized. Miss Keisha White Williams and the other members of the DDA stuck there with me. And I don't know if you guys remember at our leadership retreat how I was saying I just wish I could have the volunteers that they had when they were talking about it in Tulsa. And I must say that the volunteers showed out. They were there like they were working a full-time job, and I'm so thankful and appreciative.
They were.
Next. So this month we completed the National Day of Prayer, also a ribbon cutting ceremony for the Awaken Drip, which is Miss Kenyatta Baldwin that opened her new coffee lounge in downtown Hampton. It was a really good event that we had, and the coffee is real good, so you should check it out. We had First Friday's Eats and Beats, and it was a Hispanic celebration. So we had a mariachi band there that played some mariachi music, and people were excited, and they were all dancing and stuff, so we had a good time. Upcoming events, we have Hampton Day, Coley Park, Sunday, May 24th, from 1 to 6 p.m. We have the Memorial Day program with the American Legion at the train depot, Monday the 25th at 10 a.m. Then we'll have the upcoming June Eats and Beats downtown Hampton on Friday, June 5th. The next event we will be planning for is the Juneteenth celebration, which I'm partnering with business owners downtown in downtown Hampton to pull that off. Okay? Thank you to every volunteer, board member, community partner, and hand that made this month extraordinary for Main Street.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions? Yes. I just have a comment because I know I spoke to a few people and they were asking if we were able to extend these festivals, like going further down Main Street and coming down to make it a little bigger, to have a few more vendors and stuff.
We were definitely talking about not only extending the footprint, but also extending the time, because when the event was over, the vendors was like, we couldn't go a little longer, and I told them we didn't plan for it, but moving forward next year, we will definitely extend. Thank you.
So I just want to say, come back, Tova. I just want to say,
Tova is the hardest working person that I have ever met. She will not allow me to help her without a fight. She's very good at what she does. She's dedicated. She is here after 10 o'clock at least 3 nights a week. And I have to call her and say, Tova, go home. But I just want you to know, I appreciate you. I appreciate your dedication. I appreciate your commitment to making Hampton a fun place to live, a fun place for people to visit. And I want you to know that your work is not in vain. I see you, I appreciate you, and I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to our community development update. Our director, Ms. Wanda Moore.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
We would like to share with you guys, for the month of April, we've had 18 business license renewals and new applications. Building permits issued are 9. Zoning applications submitted was 1 variance that we're processing. Development projects that we have underway is 14, 0 grant applications, and the same grant programs that we reported last month are still underway with no change. These are current projects. Also, same exhibit that we shared last month. Next, do we have a map? And that's it. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to.
Is it 9 or 19 for your permits, trade permits?
Did I say 9?
You said 9.
19.
19. All right.
Thank you. Thank
Any
you.
questions from Ms. Wanda? Thank you, Ms. Wanda. Moving on to our IT department update, Ms. Michelle. I was gonna say Hood, but wait a minute.
Okay.
Michelle number 1.
Mayor and Council, we're gonna make this quick. We're experiencing some video issues on our live, so that's what I've been doing. So real quick, last month, 78 tickets were opened, 69 were resolved, all by me. 9 were closed. They were closed because they technically didn't have anything to do with me, just the email address that's used for my ticketing system. Boom. Yeah, your tech tip. I don't want to go too fast on this, but I am. Clearing your browser cache, whether you use Edge or you use Chrome or Firefox or Opera or whatever you use, it matters because your browser can become complacent with all the stuff that you search and do every day. If you have never cleared your cache, please do so when you get home today. It will make things sluggish, it will make things stuck, and sometimes when you can't get to that web page and you don't know why, it's because your cache needs to be cleared. I've given instructions on how to clear your browser for your Edge and for your Chrome. If you want this slide, if you'll ask me so I don't have to go through all these things, I will give it to you. That way you'll have it and you will always have it. We got our YouTube up. I'm having some issues, excuse me. It was working earlier. Just bear with me a couple more minutes. I'm getting it together. We just opened our informational Facebook page. It is no comments only. It is just for information. We haven't started streaming to it yet because I need 100 followers. So if you will just take a picture of that link down there, go to our page, and please follow. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we will have our Human Resource Director, Ms. Atwater.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Is it the first one? I don't think that's
Okay. All right. Here are the stats for the HR department. I'm going to cover HR accounts, data, current vacancies, current trends, and we're going to go through how to apply. The head count for April was 81, 3 terminations, and 0 claims. Okay, these are the current vacancies by department. They're all on our website. As you all know, the splash pad will be opening Memorial Day weekend, so we've already started posting and accepting applications for the splash pad. So if you know anyone who is at least 16 or older that would like to apply to the splash pad, by all means, direct them to our website, or you can have them to stop by City Hall to pick up a paper application, and we'll be glad to accept their application. Here are a few current trends out of our Paycom system. I thought this was really neat. There's a retention dashboard located inside of Paycom. This retention dashboard is the first three items: employees at risk, employees likely to stay, and the retention score are all based on factors such as attendance, punctuality, and use of sick time. Commute time is the average commute time for all employees, which says 20 minutes, and I know there's some people that drive halfway to Florida to come back and forth to work every day. So that's overall, that's over everybody, okay? There are people like me that drive 4 minutes, so maybe I'm skewing the data a little bit. Okay. And as always, these are all the ways to apply for jobs. And again, if there's an accommodation needed to apply for a job, by all means, reach out to me and I'll be glad to assist you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from Ms. Atwater?
I have a comment.
Yes.
And this is not just from Ms. Atwater, but for all the department heads. Thank you guys for the vibrant slides and presentation. It does make everything a lot, more fun and engaging. So thank you all for that.
Thank you.
Moving on to our city manager's update.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, citizens, and department heads. I just wanted to do a real quick retreat recap. The formal retreat report will be available this week. You heard it referenced in some of the presentations, but we met some great people in the city of Covington, and it was selected for several reasons. The similarity in the data centers locating in the city, discussing how they were handling the construction, impacts and provisions. Their tourism economy, we found out, thrives off of a kind of singular draw, which is the Vampire Diaries. And that's been off the air for quite some time. So they're planning, how they plan to deal with the expiration of that as time passes and to draw lessons. It's kind of a lesson for us as well, kind of looking ahead and planning. They do have a movie industry studios that were built out next to their municipal airport. That went on a sudden hiatus with the writer's strike, and they're kind of pivoting to different locations and utilizations for that and how the city itself is dealing with that. Implementation of the citywide path and park system, which they're actively engaged in. The longevity planning of housing, how that's holding up. And it was interesting because there was a 17-year hiatus. And now they're coming back, and really as we drove through those locations, you can't really tell the difference because of the planning that was going into those type of homes and really the longevity and the staying power of those homes. They have a growing public works department, which includes utilities. It's striving to meet the needs of growth, aging infrastructure, and increasing demands. That sounds familiar. Transportation challenges with roadwork, construction, and planning, and workforce challenges and unique solutions. As a city, we discussed several project updates and a number of issues that will be fleshed out and addressed in a formal report with action items, but those include stormwater situation and needs, current status of utilities, specifically water treatment rates and discussions around the rate reductions, power contracts that need to be enacted and acted upon, procurement policy updates, Social Security participation and pension plans, water and sewer infrastructure needs, cybersecurity and server enhancement needs, and potential FLOSS participation decisions that are coming up, as well as budgets. We'll be recapping and regrouping on that towards the end of June, so we can present the budget to the council in July. The signage scope and costs are in the final stages. We're kind of limiting that and reducing that scope a little bit, I think, to just the Main Street area. So we should be having some prices available for you all in the next meeting. And just to mention that the Blue Tarp building, in case you haven't noticed, as we drive by it and get anesthetized by constantly seeing that Blue Tarp, is in the process of being repaired, and we're getting along on that. So thank you all very much.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Any questions from the public? Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 7, appointments. 7A, consideration and action to approve the establishment of the Administration and Finance Committee. I've asked Councilmember Errol Mitchell to act as chair and Councilmember Cheney to sit on that board. I need a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember DeShane and a second by Councilmember Meeks to approve these two to go to the Administrative and Finance Committee.
I think
Discussion?
I have a
Councilmember Brooks?
question.
Yes.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I see that you have Administrative and Finance Committee, and you have Chair Errol Mitchell. Okay, is that two different committees? Do you have Administrative Committee and a Finance Committee? And what is the role for each member?
So the Administrative and Finance. Go ahead, Councilmember Brooks.
Okay, I just, it seems like you have two committees here. Administrative is one, and Finance is two. So you will have a chair for one and a assistant chair for, I would just like a little bit more clarification on those two different committees.
Yes, Councilmember Brooks. So Administrative and Finance Committees is housed in the same location. So they are a combo. This committee would handle anything that comes up underneath Administrative and Finance. So it's only one committee, it's the Administrative and Finance Committee. So these are the two council members that I've asked to serve on this particular committee, and they will oversee or do the legwork in the Administrative and Finance area if we assign anything to them.
Can you clarify or explain what that means? So what would be the duties of the Administrative and Finance Committee?
So anything that falls up underneath administration, that's what would go up underneath this. So it just depends on if this council was to decide that there's an administrative duty that needs to be moved upon or needs to be researched further or needs some more research to go along with it, you would move that over to the Administration and Finance Committee. Same thing with finance. If it's something that we're having issues with finance or we want some more information about a particular financial issue or anything to do with finance, it would go over to them.
So are they the only two that will serve on this committee? Will there be appointments from the public?
No, there will not be any appointments from the public. They're the only two that will serve. This is how it's always been done.
Okay. My other question is, so I serve on the DDA. Councilmember Meeks chairs the URA, and we both sit on the GIG team. Councilmember Brooks and Councilmember Duchenne currently do not have any, outside of their council duties, they don't serve on any other board. So is there opportunity for the two of them to serve on another committee?
So it is at the pleasure of the mayor to actually establish these particular committees because we've had some things that's come up that we really need to look into. That is the reason I decided to establish the Administrative and Finance. Of course, Ms. DeShane and Ms. Brooks will be considered if something else comes up in order to, for them to serve as well. We're thankful that they want to serve. Yes. All right, I have a motion on the floor by Councilmember DeShane and a second by Councilmember Meeks. Any further discussion?
Well, I have one more question, Madam Mayor. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But in the past, normally with these committees, they have to follow the same rules and regulations as other boards. As far as whenever they meet, they have to post. They have to do the same type of posting as Historic Preservation or HDA, DDA. So I just want to make sure that we're on the same page with that. So we know when they're meeting.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are aware that they have the same restrictions or they have to follow the same rules as any open meeting when they're having a meeting.
And so what would be their meeting dates?
So they would have to establish that within the committee.
So it's a two-member committee. If there is something that that needs to be acted upon,
They cannot act upon, yes.
Will they bring it to council or
They
bring it to the mayor?
No, they bring it to council. Anything that they research, anything that they find out, all of it will come back and land back here at the chamber, and we will make a collective decision about it. So they cannot act by themselves in any type of way.
Anything.
They cannot vote on anything. Yeah.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
if I may, as a longtime member of the council, when I was elected back in the early 2000s, we had the Administration and Finance Committee, we had Public Properties Committee, we had the Police Committee, we had the Sanitation Committee, we had quite a few committees, and council members were assigned to those committees. They were co-chairs back then, but there was one chair and the other was listed as a co-chair. I have served on the Admin and Finance, the Police Committee, several committees. What the committees do is regulated by law. They have to advertise for a certain period of time before they meet. They have to only discuss what is involved with their committee, and they cannot take any action. They have to, what they basically are is a research group that brings findings back to the council, and the council votes up or down whether or not they approve of whatever they recommend. This committee is only a recommending body.
That's right. Okay, well, I just asked the question because since I've been on council.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know
I believe it was Mayor Coley that
Okay,
did away
so
with all the
this is new for me,
committees.
so I'm just
He would assign ad hoc committees
Okay.
when the need arose.
Okay.
And that's, I believe that began the trend.
Okay. All right, that's all I got.
All right. Any further question, Councilmember Brooks? I have a motion.
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. I have a motion by Councilmember DeShane and a second by Councilmember Meeks to approve Councilmember Mitchell and Councilmember Cheney to go to the Administrative Finance Committee. All in favor? All opposed?
I, Melissa Brooks.
Aye.
Aye.
I have a 6-0.
Mr. Mitchell.
All right, I have a 6-0. Moving on to consideration and action to approve the newly elected officials' appointment to serve on the Urban Redevelopment Board. You are administering the oath to follow appointment. We have Councilmember Brooks, Councilmember Cheney, and Councilmember Mitchell. So we have been in back and forth in conversation with Attorney Wiggum.
Attorney.
Yes, in regards to this actually needing to be done. Just based on her opinion, and you can speak
Yes,
to it.
I'll just speak, looking at Georgia law today and also looking at Resolution 2023-23. Per that resolution, if you're on a member of the governing body, you are automatically on the URA. So when you take your oath of office to serve as council member, to serve as mayor, it delineates to this, so there's no need for a separate oath of office. There's no wrong with doing it, but it's not necessary.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Do we need to take action and just appoint them, or we don't?
They're already on the board.
They're already
being
on it.
the-
All right, so that is a moot point. We don't, since you guys are already council members, you serve on the URA, and we can move forward with any meetings that we currently have, or if in the future that we want to have.
Yes.
With them. All right, thank you. Moving on to agenda item 7C, consideration and action to appoint Alicia Thompson to the City of Hampton Municipal Court Judge. The current judge, Matthew McCord, has been appointed to the Griffin Judicial Circuit to serve as the Superior Court Judge with Fayetteville County. Well, hello there.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are y'all?
Good.
Good evening again, Madam Mayor and Council. We bring before you Alicia Thompson. Her bio is there, but I do want to read it. She graduated in 1998 from Cumberland Law School at Samford University. She served as a prosecutor for 15 years. She was appointed to the bench for the Town of Tyrone Court and the Fayetteville Municipal Court in 19 and 21. In addition to her judiciary duties, Judge Thompson maintains a private law practice primarily focused on misdemeanor criminal defense and guardian ad litem work. She's been married to her husband, Jason. I believe he's here, and I would be remiss if I didn't introduce him as Jason Thompson, State Court Judge from Fayette County. He is one of the powerhouses in Fayette County. Kind of tell you the process we used. Myself, Mr. Baker, and our court clerk, Dillian Hall, conducted a search. We first nominated about 5 people, had 5 different references or people to make recommendations. And then we had a thorough process, and Ms. Thompson was hands down the most, not only the most qualified, but the one that most represents our community. A lot of our questions focused around the judge's role, the municipal court judge's role in the community, and that's really where she stood apart. So it was a no-brainer for the board, and Mr. Baker led that board. We brought in judges from several different jurisdictions. Ms. Thompson was recommended first by Julie Kirk, who is our prosecutor, and I had the pleasure of knowing her when she was in the Fayette County Solicitor's Office and my time in Fayette County. She's not just well respected, she's admired in the legal community. So she is available for any questions if you guys have them.
Any questions from the council?
No.
I have a comment.
Okay.
I don't know for absolute sure, but I
It is.
believe she will be the
She will
first.
be the first female chief judge of the Hampton Municipal Court.
Oh, my. Girl power.
Girl power will be in effect because she will be our chief judge. Our associate judge is Susan Miller that you guys appointed in January, and she will remain in that role.
Okay.
So we will have Miss Thompson and Miss Miller on the bench at all times.
Okay. To Councilmember Brooks, Councilmember Mitchell, do you have any questions?
No, Madam Mayor, I have no questions. Thank you.
I'm okay.
All right.
Madam Mayor, the one thing, the little bit difference in this, we're not going to swear her in tonight. Judge McCord has one more day on the bench tomorrow to hear the pressing matter of 25 East Main and Tom Eason. And at the completion of that, he'll swear in Judge Thompson, but I still would like for an opportunity to get a photo with you guys, if that's okay.
Well, okay, that'll be great, but let us go ahead and appoint Miss Alicia Thompson. I need a motion to approve.
A motion to approve.
I have a motion by Councilmember Meeks and a second by Councilmember DeShane to approve Judge Thompson as our new municipal court judge, who will be sworn in by our outgoing judge, Mr. McCord, on tomorrow. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have a 6-0. Thank you so very much. All right, everybody.
Can we stand back here?
Oh, can we stand back here?
Stand in front of it.
Come on, husband.
I'm the photographer. All right.
It's okay.
Y'all look at me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You're not a photographer. You're a cabinet. I said, you're not a photographer.
Thank you. Welcome. Wayne Jernigan was judge from 1872 till a couple of years.
Congratulations. Congratulations. My maiden name is Thompson.
Hi, nice to meet you. Elle Wiggum, nice to meet you. Congratulations. No problem. Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 7D, consideration and action to approve resolution 2026-32, the Hampton Development Authority appointee. Mr. Meeks sent in his appointee, which is Mr. Matt Taylor of Hampton, Georgia. I need a motion to approve or to deny.
I move to approve.
I made a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Councilmember Mitchell and a second by Councilmember Meeks. Discussion from the council. Discussion from the public. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I have a 6-0. Moving on to agenda item 7E, consideration of a resolution 2026 appointing Ms. Deborah Horzick Carter to the Hampton Historic Preservation Commission until December 31st, 2027. Section 9-4 within Appendix A of the City Code of Ordinance establishes the Hampton Historic Preservation Commission and provides that the mayor and each member of the council shall appoint one member each to the commission. Following the resignation of Mr. Dwight Harris, a vacancy exists for the appointment associated with Ms. Councilmember DeShane. Councilmember DeShane has designated Ms. Carter to fill the unexpired term associated with such appointment. The proposed resolution formally approves and memorializes the appointment for purposes of maintaining a clear and complete official records of the city. I need a motion
Mayor.
I move
Yes.
Can we push this over to next month, because we have myself and we have Councilman Cheney and Councilman Brooke need to make the appointment for included for also the DDA and plus also this program as well. So I think we should do one time and one shot for next month.
I don't think that's correct, I'm sorry. Madam Mayor, can I say something? So when I looked in the minutes, other people I saw on there, their term don't expire to 2027 or something like that, Ms. Duncan? I don't think that their term is expiring right now, when I looked in the minutes, so you might want to.
My appointment, because Devlin's appointment expired.
So the Historic Preservation Commission's terms run with the appointed person. We had 3 council members and the mayor that ran this time. So those 3 will be appointing their person. Ms. DeShane's person just resigned, and so she's just replacing that resignation. That's the only thing, but those 3 people will need to, and myself would need to reappoint or to find someone else to actually sit on that commission. With that being said, I hear Mr. Mitchell saying that, we can wait until next month, but I would have to, Ms. DeShane.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution 2026-35.
Okay, so I have a motion by Councilmember Meeks. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember DeShane to approve Resolution 2026-25. Any more discussion from the council? Discussion from the public? Ms. Carter? Is Ms. Carter here?
No.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I have a 6-0. Moving on to unfinished business. Item 8A, consideration and action to approve the second read of ordinance 2026-07 to amend the Code of Ethics ordinance. I need a motion to send this over to the Administrative and Finance Committee.
Madam Mayor, I move send the second read of ordinance 2026-07 to the Administrative and Finance Committee.
I have a motion by Councilmember Meeks. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilmember Cheney to move this over to the Administrative and Finance Committee. Discussion from the council.
Yeah. So what does ethics have to do with finance and?
It falls under administration.
So I would like to get some legal. Ethics falls under finance and administration?
That would not be my interpretation, but there's no legal barrier to what the mayor is requesting, if that's what she would like to do. It's, the Finance and Administrative Committee, you guys just established it, so I don't know exactly the powers and duties of that committee.
Well, she just said the scope was for finance and administrative. And
So this ordinance actually is governing administration of the Ethics Board. And so they're asking for several things to change in this ordinance. And so that is the reason. And there are some other things that we need to update in regards to our ethics committee, our ethics board. So that is the reason the Administrative and Finance Committee was sending that over to them.
So, I'm sorry. So I know last month on the agenda, I believe this item covered some of the procedures of the Ethics Committee, so extending it from 60 days to 90 days, and maybe a couple other tweaks. However, my concern is that because we have 2 members of council that serves under the administrative, that will serve on this board, that ultimately the ethics, sounds like the Ethics Committee may roll up to, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that is a direct conflict because the Ethics Board is here to hear and act upon, if need be,
Independent.
violations that the council or council member or employee may have committed, which ultimately, if the Ethics Committee makes a recommendation, the recommendation comes to council for us to make a determination on if we want to act on that recommendation or do something different. So I'm a little concerned that we may be blurring the lines here. Is that?
I know that the mayor has a motion on the table for this ordinance to go to the Administrative and Finance Committee. So if you guys prefer for that not to happen, the motion, you can say nay. I will provide just some clarity regarding this specific ordinance. I drafted this ordinance. All this ordinance is doing is it's just giving a little bit more procedural guidelines to the committee because it's a very, very new committee. And when they're, going through their daily measures, some stuff has come up. So, they've reiterated that 60 days is a little bit too short. When they're trying to give notice to a hearing, well, how many days is that are they supposed to have? That would be lawful notice. Do hearings have to occur in person? What's clarity on subpoena power? And so I've done some research and looked at a lot of other neighboring jurisdictions regarding the committee and then kind of model it to this. So it's just a procedural guideline. That's all that this ordinance would be doing if you guys choose to adopt it or not.
So we have a motion on the floor to move this over to the Administrative and Finance Committee by Councilmember Meeks and a second by Councilmember Cheney. All in favor? All opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
I have a 2-2. I didn't hear Councilmember Brooks or Councilmember Mitchell.
I vote in favor.
Okay, so we have a 3.
Okay, I understand exactly what the city attorney just explained. This is really procedural. But, and I also understand what the committees do. But I don't understand what exactly the Ethics Committee, the Finance Committee, which is comprised of Mr. Mitchell and Ms. Cheney, are they going to just actually do research and come back and make a recommendation?
That is correct.
So what happened?
Okay, so basically the ethics, okay, I'm not opposed to it, it just, yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not sure how they will gather their information to be able to give a recommendation to the council, but I'm not opposed to it, so.
All right. So I have a 4-2.
May I say something?
Yes.
If there's also a meeting take place, I would definitely invite some part of the ethics board as well to come and sit down and to go through some details as well. So it will be open board. I might want to straighten it, make it. We don't know. We might add more to it and make it look over.
All right, thank you.
Right, I just, I do want to make sure that whenever this committee is meeting, that we're,
It will be publicized. It
all
will
of that,
be-
make sure that
everybody
there's
will- yeah.
right, not a quorum of the
That's right.
city officials and all that.
That's correct. Moving on to agenda item 8B, unfinished business, consideration and
I'm so
action to
sorry.
approve the second read.
I'm so sorry, how did that vote?
4-2.
It was, okay, thank you.
Consideration and action to approve second read of ordinance 2026-08 on the city manager's authority, section 2-120D, powers and duties of the city managers. Item 16, we would like all items under 16 to come back before the council for approval. I need a motion to approve or to deny.
Madam Maker, I make a motion that we deny.
I second.
I have a motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem White Williams to deny and a second by Councilmember DeShane. Any further discussion from the council?
So to me, this, if we go forward with this seems like it's affecting our charter. And we got a memorandum in regards to affecting our charter, that we can't do this through ordinances. But I'll ask for the lawyer's
Yes,
opinion on this.
So this is, in our opinion, at Denmark, Ashby, Metro Carty, this is not a change that can be done by just a general ordinance to the code, because we are starting to infringe on the charter. And furthermore, that charter change, it's a big change because it has a trickle-down effect of what it's actually doing. So this would somewhat change the form of government that would be occurring. So we couldn't do this by a home rule charter amendment. It would require an act of the Georgia General Assembly, and that's the opinion of our law firm.
And I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
So if this was to approve through, and then council acts on anything that they approve based off of this, where does that leave the council? Does that leave,
So if you guys approve the ordinance, you approve the ordinance, it's privy to challenge. So
ultimately, we could find ourselves facing a lawsuit.
yeah, there is.
So we can have a lawsuit. And I want to make sure that Attorney Wickham, so this is not the original form of this ordinance. This particular letter E has been changed multiple times to grant and to restrict city managers, and it was not done by legislative acts, it was done by home rule. So I'm trying to find out what has changed, that since this is not the original form of this section of our ordinance, what has changed? Because this is an ordinance, this isn't the charter part, this is an ordinance, so what has changed?
Right, so, at the request, our office drafted this ordinance, wanting to amend this section. When we gave the ordinance, we also gave the legal opinion saying, hey, here's the ordinance as drafted. However, here are the challenges that are coming with this. I don't think that this ordinance is going to have the overall legal effect of what you're wanting. So my recommendation would be not to approve this ordinance, but as it's not, I don't get a vote here. It's just my legal advice.
All right. I have a motion on the floor by Councilmember White Williams and a second by Councilmember DeShane to not approve the second read of ordinance 2026-08. All in favor? All opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There's a delay. I couldn't hear him.
I can't hear them either.
I'm just a little confused, guys. I'm sorry. So basically, is this ordinance restricting the city manager's powers and duties? If so, I am definitely opposed to that.
Okay, Ms. Melissa's opposed. Mr. Mitchell, you are opposed, or?
What confused me is that if this is not the correct one that was changed before, why are we using this one right now?
I'm sorry, say that again.
According to the law you mentioned earlier that it's conflict, but it been changed to numerous times, up and down, all over the place, and should return back to the original state because the one that is listed is not correct.
So I was just telling Attorney Wickham that their attorney's office, their opinion is that we cannot change it on home rule. And I was explaining to her that this item this particular item under that section has been changed multiple times under home rule. It is her opinion that was wrong, that it shouldn't have been changed under home rule, that it should have been changed by legislative.
So just to give a little bit.
So if it should be changed by legislative, that means this one is in the binder right now, it's incorrect. So it should return back to the original one, so that if we need to change it, we need to go to a recommendation.
I'll just provide a little bit of context. It's not necessarily like this particular section. It's the change that's trying to go on through this ordinance. So, this ordinance is reading that they're trying to get approval or notice from the governing body in regards to hiring and firing. That's the change that's trying to occur with this ordinance. We can't effectuate that change by a general ordinance. The overall change that you guys are trying to do, it would directly conflict with a lot of provisions of the charter. And furthermore, there's two ways to change the charter in a municipality in Georgia. It's either by home rule or by the act of the General Assembly. A home rule can be done by an ordinance, and what that ordinance would do would be, separate readings, a lot of hearings, newspaper, advertising, et cetera, et cetera. However, when the change that you're trying to do is changing the form of government, which I believe that this is doing, that charter change is going to have to be done via an act of the Georgia General Assembly, which takes a lot more to do. So I'm not necessarily saying the change that she's trying to do can't occur. I'm saying it can't occur in this particular format.
So I have a question. So are you saying that the council cannot restrict the city manager's authority? Is that what you're saying?
So let me pull up the memo. So I'm saying it depends on necessarily the charter provision. So, in section 2-10, administrative authority is vested in the city manager through multiple provisions regarding operational control. And there's a section in the charter, section 2.27, providing that the powers, duties, and responsibility of the city manager shall be defined through ordinance. And it's also saying that on section 2.30, neither the city council nor its members shall give orders to any such officer or employee, either publicly or privately. And so when you guys are trying to do this type of change, it's interfering with section 2.3 of the charter, in my opinion.
Madam Mayor,
I
charter-
Wait a minute, Councilmember Mitchell. Give me 1 second. I have Councilmember Meeks on the floor.
The only
Okay.
issue I see in the change is the word prior. The charter, section 310E, says all appointed officers and directors under the supervision of the city manager shall be nominated by the city manager with confirmation of appointment by the city council. All appointed officers and directors all appointed officers and directors shall be employees at will and subject to removal or suspension at any time at the recommendation of the city manager, mayor, or any council member unless otherwise provided by law or ordinance. It seems to me if the word prior is removed, it would jive with the charter.
I think that there's a lot of different sections of the charter, and so I don't necessarily agree with that interpretation. I think anytime you're trying to get either approval from the governing body before hiring, especially firing, I don't think a general ordinance is going to get the job done, in my opinion.
I remember if correctly, it was stated before that the city manager cannot terminate any directors unless approval based on the council. That's what I know of. And it was changed 2 years ago, if I'm correct. I don't know. Can you correct me if I'm wrong?
It would have to be more than 2 years ago, because 2 years ago I came on and I didn't know of any change happening. So it would have been before 2 years.
Our office is not aware.
So I don't know.
It was 2 3. Go ahead, sorry.
I just want to say, we have a motion, ordinance number 2026-08. Mayor Pro Tem White Williams has a motion to deny approving restriction of any powers of the city manager, second by Councilmember DeShane. That's what so if you think that you should have the authority and you want to go ahead and move on ordinance, you should vote against it. If you want to keep it and deny it as it is, you will vote for it. I'm calling for a vote. Everyone that would like to deny ordinance number 2026-08, raise your hand.
Well, deny what the motion was, or deny?
To deny the moving forward with the second read. So,
Okay, deny, okay.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Mitchell, I believe you were saying something?
Can I make a motion to the amendment to the motion to correct the part said only to fire any director return to the council members?
Madam Mayor, I would like to keep the motion that is on the floor to deny the second read.
Hold on, I have an amendment to the motion that's on the floor by Councilmember Mitchell. Do I have a second to amend the motion? No second being heard, the amendment fails. Now we're going back to the original motion, which is to deny ordinance number 2026-08 by Mayor Pro Tem White Williams and a second by Councilmember DeShane. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Ms. Brooks?
Ms. Brooks?
Okay, Madam Mayor, for the record, I am voting to deny this ordinance,
All right.
to move forward. Yes, ma'am.
And Councilmember Mitchell? You voted to deny.
Yes.
I already denied. Well, May.
Nay, okay. Councilmember Cheney, I'm sorry. You vote for it?
Deny.
All right. I have a 4-2. Moving on.
I thought you had a 6-0. I thought it was a 6-0.
Oh, I thought he
I thought they were
said
saying
deny.
Yeah, he did.
He
Deny.
voted to deny.
Oh,
He's voting to
So you have
deny.
6-0.
He's in suit.
6-0. Sorry, 6-0. Got it. Moving on.
Madam
Yes.
Mayor, if I may, if you look on Muni Code, it shows where the ordinances were adopted and changed, and this ordinance has undergone, let's see, ordinance number 112, ordinance number 115 was in 2001, ordinance number 15B in 2004, ordinance number 112A in 2005, 112B in 2005, 112C 2006, ordinance number 463 in 2018, 464 in 2018, 481 in 2019, 544 in 2021, 559 in 2021, and 567 in 2022. So this thing has gone back and forth. Been changed.
Madam Mayor, I was there when it changed in 2018. It seems to change based on whether the city manager is favored or not. That seems to be the reason why they change it back and forth.
All right. Thank you for your comment. Moving on to agenda item 8C, consideration and action to approve resolution 2026-27 to establish approval procedures prior to the implementation of changes to software systems and material. All software changes, including but not limited to software company, software system, and software packages, will come back before the council. And that is 8C. And the resolution tells us exactly what 8C.
What do you mean by that?
So before any changes to our systems, rather, any of our systems, our software systems, it would come back before the city council for that update and for that change. It's kind of like we were getting ready to change when we were talking about changing to Cartner, whatever the name of it, Cardinal. It was going to be a software change. It would be a different company. It will come back before the council. But I want to read. Everybody has this in their book, so everybody understands that this is what what is being asked. The council approval requires for all software actions, no department, officers, employee, or agencies of the city shall implement, deploy, utilize, modify, replace, expand, or otherwise alter any software system, software platforms, application, or digital tools used by the city without prior approval of the mayor and city council. This requirement shall apply to all software system, including but not limited to the enterprise system, departmental systems, subscription-based or cloud-based platforms, add-on modules, integration, and any expansions of existing system functionalities, regardless of whether such action involves the execution of a new contract. This Section 3, relationships to the charter. This resolution is intended to supplement and not replace the requirement of Section 6.32 of the city charter. To the extent any software-related action involves a contract, such as contracts must be approved by the city council in order to be binding. All approved contracts shall be executed in accordance to Section 2-32 of the City of Hampton. Questions from the council?
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution 2026-27.
I second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Meeks to approve and a second by Councilmember Cheney.
Madam Mayor, I
Yes.
make a motion that we discuss this matter.
We have a motion on the floor already.
Okay.
We're getting ready to go into discussion. Go
Okay.
ahead and discuss.
So I just want to clarify what you just read. So in the case of if, for example, IT needed a software package, because we know software changes as we speak, the council will have to, especially if there's like an emergency, we're going to have an emergency special call meeting, which requires 24 hours, 48 hours for a regular special call meeting, or we'll have to wait until the next month before we can approve any type of software that IT may need in case there is a breach. I just think that this might be a little too extreme. It is going to slow down progress. I can understand, I believe last month we limited the city manager's spending to $10,000. I can understand if it comes, if it costs more than $10,000 coming before the council, but I think this would really be handcuffing IT in a case where she may need something to keep the systems going. I know when we were in DC, the systems went down. I don't know if it was the result of a cybersecurity attack. I don't know if she ended up having to buy some type of software to fix it, but I just think that this is going to slow down progress for day-to-day operations, including emails, any type of software that our finance system uses, any type of software that Public Works or PD uses. So I really think we need to think about this before we move on it, because honestly, there may be some significant trickle-down implications if we pass this resolution, and I would hate for that to occur.
And so also in the sense of if we are using a software or using Cardinal, whichever, and their term expires every time, they would have to come back if we're not changing them. They're going to have to come back every time.
Well, I would think with this, even if it's up for auto renewal or for renewal,
what I mean. If
it
it's
needs
up-
to come before
it needs to
council
come back
if we
before
pass
council.
this. So
Yeah.
I just think we're going to start to see one issue after the next if we were to pass this resolution the way it has been written or explained. I just don't feel that this is necessary, especially if it does not extend beyond the $10,000 that the city manager has the authority, up to $10,000 that the city manager has the authority to spend. So I would hate for Michelle to come back and say, council, I need you guys to approve this because I need to buy 10 more licenses from Microsoft, and I can't do anything until you guys approve it. I don't think we're thinking this all the way through.
And would that have to happen when we are trying to renew our anything for GMA, for any, like, is it all going to have to come back because their license coming up? So maybe we need to amend the motion to say for licenses that's 10,000 and above or something, but this is going to hinder like the regular day-to-day process.
Councilmember Cheney?
I see the verbiage changes several times. So is that what we're focusing on, changes, not renewal of licensing for software?
So, right.
We're
it's
focusing
about
on changing companies or
changes in software.
Major
in
changes.
Systems, changes.
Okay.
Not renewals, that's not a change.
So, but it says changes to software systems and materials. All software changes, which we know software, it updates all the time, and sometimes you may have to end up buying additional software to make Microsoft work. It's not just Microsoft by itself. And I'm saying Microsoft because we're used to that. We use it for our emails, we use it to draft documents, so on and so forth. So you may have, you buy the license, but in order to get certain functions of the program, there's additional costs to fully maximize. So I don't see where this eliminates those type of things in this ordinance. I just think that if it doesn't meet the $10,000 threshold that the city manager has the authority to approve, I don't think we need to approve this. You know, it's easy for us to say, well, let's do it, but we're not IT. We're not the ones having to fix these issues when things come about. We're not in the field with Public Works. We're not in the field with the police department. And also, speaking of the police department, you also have to think about safety. If they're waiting on us to approve a software change, what is that, how is that gonna hinder our public safety? How is that gonna hinder our Public Works? So I just think that we should not touch this unless it's $10,000 or more. So that is just my opinion.
Mr. something?
Yes,
Yeah,
Councilmember, one second, Councilmember Brooks. Councilmember Mitchell.
When it comes to software updated, software doesn't update just like that because something go down. It requires, if you're gonna make a massive change, it's a massive overall process. Doesn't just change because the system go down and come back up. That's not how it work. But if there's also budget items we set a budget item for yearly for each department, and based on certain stuff that need to get done, the licensing also in the budget is. What this is saying, so to my understanding, this is saying any brand new stuff that overall impact the entire city need to be reviewed.
That's not what, that's your interpretation of it. But that's not how this resolution is reading. It does not say anything about, adding on, or it says all software changes, including but not limited to software companies, software systems, and software packages. And while I do understand that, if the system were to go down, there may not be any additional cost to bring the system back up. However, IT may say, oh, you know what? I need this software system to make sure that if this were to ever happen again, I will have this in place. So it's not just Microsoft. And I keep going back to Microsoft because that's what we're mostly familiar with. It's not just Microsoft by itself, but there's so many other things that come along with making sure every time we turn on our laptop, every time we go into our emails, every time we need to draft a letter or a memo or whatever, there's certain softwares in the back that's helping support these platforms that we use. So I just think that, I see it being a hindrance in day-to-day. I think it is going to tremendously slow down the speed and the efficiency of IT as well as our police department, because this is not just trickling down to just IT. Once again, this could have an impact on Main Street, this could have an impact on Public Works, this could have an impact on finance and the police department. So all of these departments may be impacted if we say, anytime you guys need something new, you need to come to council. So once again, I think we need to keep it at the $10,000 threshold. If it's below that $10,000 threshold, that the city manager has the ability to approve, then it needs to come to council. But now we're going to sit here in these meetings for 3 days approving every software system or package that IT or the police department may need.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I would like to rescind my motion, and I would like to make a motion that we postpone this until further research is done.
I have a rescission of the motion that's on the floor by the main person, the motion person, Councilmember Meeks, to rescind his motion and to put a motion on the floor to postpone until further.
I second that motion.
Investigation, research.
I'm sorry, further information can be gathered. I have a second by Councilmember DeShane.
I'd like to make an amendment to the motion.
What's your amendment, Mr. Mitchell?
Since you need to research, can you send it to the Finance and Administration Department, if that, or any other department that could work with the team and see what can come so we can present to the council, make it more effective.
All right, so Councilmember Mitchell would like to amend the motion from postponing to sending it over to the Administrative and Finance Committee. Do I have a second to that motion?
But wouldn't it still have to postpone if we're sending it
It's
over?
still a delay.
So we'd still have to delay.
It postpone.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be postponed in the committee though. Seeing that no second came forth, we're gonna go back to Councilmember Meeks' motion to postpone Resolution 2026-27, and a second by Councilmember DeShane. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, I have someone on the floor. Yes, Ms. Dawn, that's correct.
Dawn Greer, 20 McDonough Street. I would request that we hear from our IT subject matter expert, because everyone's talking, but the lady that's going to be dealing with this, if that's possible, or in the consideration of the discussion, because it's her field. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So I have a 6-0. We're going to move on. We will get Michelle's input moving forward in regards to the discussions.
Got one more.
Oh, yes. Ms. Anson?
Really quick, Otima Ansong, 70 Overlook Trail. In addition to what Ms. Greer mentioned, if we could allow Michelle the opportunity to maybe draft, her pros and cons and give the body some feedback as to how this decision may impact her day to day.
Thank you. Moving on to.
Madam Mayor, I would like to add one comment, and I pretty much agree. Being a 37-year employee of municipal government, we should rely on our subject matter experts to be able to guide us, because we are not IT experts. Michelle has been trained on this. It is up to her. We hired her to bring forward the best systems possible, and we trust her to do that. I don't know, you have a administrative chairperson and you have an ethics chairperson. I think she would be the best person to bring forth the best suggestions and recommendation for the city of Hampton.
Thank you so very much,
That's all I have to
Councilmember
say.
Brooks. Moving on to agenda item 10B.
10A.
10A was actually removed from the agenda. We're going to move to agenda item 10B. Consideration and approval by the mayor and city council for resolution 2026-31, authorizing execution of Pond and Company pre-construction engineering design services contract in support of the West King Road Connection Bridge, PI number 0021212. We have the resolution in front of us. This resolution has been amended. Everybody on the council has the amended version. The change is in the red on the bottom, what is underlined and what is marked out, and it simply changes to whereby Whereas by a majority vote of the mayor and council of the city of Hampton, the city awards the project pre-construction engineering design services contract to Pond and Company and authorities the city manager to enter into contract negotiation with Pond and Company for the project and authorize the mayor to sign the contract. I need a motion to approve or to deny.
Madam Mayor, sorry. I make a motion that we deny this resolution, and I'll wait for discussion.
I'll second.
I have a motion to deny resolution 2026-31 and a second by Councilmember White Williams and a second by Councilmember DeShane. Discussion.
Yes. So the reason I am making the motion that we deny this is because at the April meeting, it was mentioned that some of our vendors have been pretty much on speed dial for the last 7 years. They are assigned task orders. They've been approved by the city. However, 7 years on speed dial, if hey, we have this project, do you want to bid on it? That's fine. But I believe that we need to send everything out to bid and have an open bid process. I have not seen, and maybe I missed it, but I have not seen any other opportunities for other vendors to take on this work. So I believe with the information that we have, that I received last month at the meeting, that we need to put it back out there for our open bid process. So we don't know if, I'm sure Pond does good work. They've done work for the DDA. However, they're not the only ones out there that can do this type of work. I understand it is connected to the pedestrian bridge that we want to move forward. However, because of the information that came out of the meeting last month, in addition to the retreat, I do believe this needs to go back out to an open bid, and I would strongly support that.
I also agree with that, also based on our last special call meeting. I don't know if it was the process previously that we just handed over to one vendor all the time, but since we've determined that we aren't doing those former processes and we are going to do the proper process, and I think in our procurement processes, we should be getting 3 bids for any sort of bidding for stuff. So I think we should send it back out.
I'm sorry, did I hear Councilmember Mitchell or Councilmember Brooks that you guys have a comment?
Yes, I've noticed they do have 3 bids there. I think if the council wish to go make some changes for additional person, we need to make a resolution for that. And since this is already done already and processed already, we can't delay the process for the next 6 months and so forth to get things done. Because they take 3 months for them to develop, 3 to 4 months, if I'm correct, to process all these things. So if you put it back out again and make a resolution to change all those things, all those people again, take about up to a year for that to be done.
So I agree with Mr. Mitchell. So let me explain, I don't know if I explained it last month, but let me explain to you how we have Pond and Company. Pond and Company, along with several, and because it went out to open bid, so any engineering firm could have applied to be on our engineering team. Pond was one of those individuals, one of those companies that is a part of the engineering team. It's not just Pond and Company, Falcon Design is on it, GMC is on it, I believe CPL may be on it, but there is a group, it's 5 engineering firms, and those engineering firms were the only ones to respond to us to be a part of our engineering team at that time. And yes, it has been a moment since we did it, and I do think that we should go back out and see if we can pick up some additional ones. However, I do not feel like the ones that we currently have is good. They are good engineering firms. They've done great work in the past, and they are our currents. And so to stop the process at this point in time in regards to this contract, I don't think that that would be a good idea. This connection bridge they have been working on. Ms. Wanda, did you have anything that you would like to add to this?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. I apologize because there's confusion on this bid. This bid followed Georgia DOT procurement policy. This has nothing to do with the engineering firms that were approved per the professional service engineering contract that went out. Has nothing to do with that. This was regulated by Georgia DOT procurement policies. This went out to bid, went on Georgia procurement, went on our website, was advertised in the newspaper. It was an open bid, and we got 3 respondents. The GDOT pre-qualification process required that the city had a selection committee. I was on the committee based on my certification, Mr. Lewis King, and also Mr. Salters, who is the transit director from Henry County. Those individuals were on the committee as they were approved by Georgia DOT to have the credentials to vet out the 3 firms that were responded. I had reported to you guys 2 months ago the firms that responded. One was Pond, one was Athena, and one was Stratus. Now, they are specialized firms that do this type of design, and that's why they had to be pre-qualified with GDOT. They have certain area classes, and I apologize that you don't have the information so that you understood what process we're talking about with this particular award. It went through the Georgia DOT procurement steps. Each firm submitted an initial response. From those firms, we qualified the responses to make sure they met the area classes that were required with GDOT. They did, all 3 of them did. Then they went in and we requested a technical response. All of this was on our website. All of this was on Georgia procurement as required. The technical response were graded. There were 2 evaluations. They were both graded. We sent it back to GDOT based on the evaluations. Pond scored the highest. And Stratus was the second, and Athena was the third.
All right, thank you, Ms. Wanda.
May I say something?
Councilmember Mitchell.
Yes, I lost my thought process. Within the process, I do believe that according to the city manager is putting together a procurement policy that would going forward fix some of these issues and concerns. I would like to ask the attorney to draw for our audience a resolution that to open up that venue or remove everyone for an open bid process.
All right, so we can tackle that. That is something that we will have a discussion about, Mr. Baker and the attorney, and see about getting that did. But we have a motion on the floor to deny resolution 2026-03. Because it went through that process, would you like to rescind it?
Well, I have a question for Ms. Wanda and directed to Councilmember Mitchell. Councilmember Mitchell, I heard you say that the 3 bids were included in the package. I don't see it. All I see is what's here from Pond. So are you saying that the bids on Georgia procurement, they're available for us to go and see
100%.
the 3 bids? Okay. So going forward, I think whenever we have something like this, even if we did not choose whoever we choose, I think it would be helpful for the council to see the submissions of the other entities or organizations that have bidded on these projects?
I will remind you all that I sent an email out that had all of the package of everybody that responded. I also put them out on Basecamp. And so it's been, I apologize, it's been a couple of months since I sent the email out with all the attachments.
It just would have been good to have it in.
No, yeah, 100%. You guys have a lot on your table. I apologize. I thought I was doing a good job at communicating. Obviously, I'm not, but I did send it out to everybody in an email with the attachments as requested. I want to reiterate, this project has to follow Georgia DOT procurement policies. You guys adopted Georgia DOT procurement policies. It's on the website. It was adopted, I think it was in March of last year, specific for this project, because we brought it to you. You understood at that time that we had to follow their procurement policy. This is federal money. It's very regulated. So that policy also is posted. When you go on and look at our procurement policies online, you click on it, it has our current city and also GDOT, and it has the resolution attached to each of those policies.
Thank you, Ms. Wanda.
You're welcome.
So you got a question? Okay, so based on the discussion, I am going to rescind the motion to deny. And based on the comments of Ms. Wanda that this has gone through GDOT for procurement, I make a motion that we approve.
Second.
I got a motion by Councilmember White Williams and a second by Councilmember DeShane to approve Resolution 2026-31. Any further discussion from the council?
You got a public out there.
I got a question.
Yes, yes, sir. Mr. Charlie, come to the podium.
Charlie Hearn, 76 East Main Street. Was Pond the low bid? Just out of curiosity.
So they've scored the lowest, scored.
Were they the low
highest.
bid?
I'm not.
It's the Georgia DOT pre-qualification. It's not based on bid.
Oh, they don't submit a bid for what they're gonna charge to do the work?
Can I speak?
I'm just wondering what the pricing was on it.
Yeah. So you guys also approved us applying for the grant. We got the grant money. Georgia DOT is afforded a certain amount for the grant. We had a match. So this resolution includes the first task, which allocates 300 and something thousand. It's in our budget. The match money to match that is in our budget. And then when they get through, which includes public outreach, engagement, and things like that on the design, once they get the design presented to the council for their acceptance to move forward to construction, we will have another proposal brought before you for that particular task. That's in line with the process, and the project was let as an RFQ, request for qualifications, not for bid.
Thank you.
So can I just?
Go ahead.
So Mr. Charlie, just so you know, the total for this is $364,874.
Yes.
My question was though,
Were they the lowest?
you're hiring the engineering company with this resolution.
So,
Did the other people submit a bid for doing this work?
so what was requested was a request for qualification. That was the bid. The qualification of the firm was the bid.
So we don't know what it's gonna cost us.
So, there is allocation for this particular bid already, for this particular bridge already, that GDOT is giving us $8 million for. That's the reason we have to follow the GDOT procurement. Their first part of the procurement was a request for qualification. This firm scored the highest on the request for qualifications. I believe Ms. Wanda said a 22. And therefore, their qualifications met GDOT at the highest level. So that is what we bid it out for. Not for financing, not for how much it's going to cost, not a request for bid on construction of the bridge or design and things of that nature, just for the request for qualifications. So this is just for the qualifications of these particular firms. And this is the firm that was chosen. So no money yet. We don't get there. It's coming.
Well, I mean, you've already gonna approve this company to do the work. Is that what we're saying with this resolution?
In regards to their qualifications to do the design work, yes, they will do the design work. Yes.
We don't know what the cost is gonna be.
It's not gonna cost us any more than our match of 300.
64,873.
No,
So
that's a
the-
portion.
Right, so the resolution states what the GDOT amount is, the 80% of what is proposed currently.
Right.
And our 20% match. The 20% match currently is it 57 or something?
That's right.
Yeah. And so the project award from the federal government through GDOT was $730,000 for the design. Our portion of that 20% is 130-something thousand, which you guys approved in the budget for as SPLOST 6 match. The rest of the design money will come from federal government through GDOT. The construction grant we applied for at y'all's approval, and we'll wait to hear back. However, it is a high-listed project on that list, and they anticipate funding, as the mayor alluded to, and the estimated cost for the bridge to date is $8 million. That has not been awarded yet,
Right.
but that's in the pipeline.
All right, thank you. So I have a motion on the floor to approve Resolution 2026-31 by Councilmember White Williams and a second by Councilmember DeShane. All in favor? Mr. Mitchell?
Aye, Melissa.
I have a 6-0. Moving on to agenda item 10C, the council consideration and approval of invoices over $10,000 for the city manager to sign off on. So do you have, go ahead, Council.
Oh, no, if you.
I was just going to say, invoices, these invoices have, they were already approved, they were already budgeted. All of these things that have come through in regards to this $10,000 max is already within the budget. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I need a motion to approve, the city manager signing off on invoices over the $10,000 mark.
I move we approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Meeks and a second by Councilmember Cheney. Discussion from the council. Discussion from the public. All in favor?
Aye.
I have a 6-0. Moving on to agenda item 10D, consideration and action to approve Accurate Property Service garage door repair at M Street Fire Department at $10,364. So this is not a budgeted item. Is that correct, Mr. King?
No, ma'am, it
Okay.
wasn't. This was something when I first got here, maybe 2 days on the job, former city manager, they wanted to put the skating ring down at the old fire station. There was issues with the motors and the doors there, and he was like, fix that, fix that, fix that. So I fixed that, and I fixed that.
All right. So the Accurate Property Service garage door, the $10,300 invoice, we need a motion to approve them actually paying them because they've already done the work. Is that correct?
Correct.
Madam Mayor, I move we approve.
I have a motion by Councilmember Meeks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem White Williams. Is that you? Discussion from the council.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
1 second, Councilmember Mitchell. 1 second. I have Mayor Pro Tem.
This is not for you, Mr. King. This is just in general. So every time we have a $10,000 plus invoice where the work has already been done, it has to come to council for approval. How long ago was this work done? You said the skating rink, so it had to be
Yeah,
9
this was-
plus days ago?
Yeah, this was something that was done a while ago, and it got hung up in the system somehow, and the company, they emailed this suggestion like 2 weeks ago. And, it was something that, again, it was requested that we were doing, and there was a few others that came in by this company, not at this dollar amount, at a lower dollar amount.
Okay.
But yes, ma'am, this was a while ago.
Okay, so.
This isn't typical.
This is just an example, so it's not towards you. But, so when we have invoices over $10,000, clearly.
Unbudgeted. This is unbudgeted
Okay.
money.
Unbudgeted.
Yes.
That's fine. However, I just see it slowing down the process, whether it's budgeted. Unbudgeted, of course, it needs to come before council for approval. That's just my concern even with what we just approved. I don't know how long ago the services were. I don't know were performed. I don't know if we have terms, but I just have some concerns about the delay in us approving invoices and getting these checks paid.
Understand. Councilmember DeShane.
Well, I think Mitchell wanted to say something.
Councilmember Mitchell, I'm sorry.
One of the questions I want to ask, since this is on budget items, this is mostly for the city manager, or as council member, whoever should answer this. Does it require a budget amendment for that number? Because it was not budgeted, and it is not emergency, to my understanding. If it was emergency, it's different from a different budget system.
I'm assuming it was emergency, we were using it.
So, okay, so the question that's on the floor is, where have this, because in our package, it usually tells us where this money is going to come from. And this agenda summary does not. Can you tell us where we're going to be paying this from? Where is this line item coming from? Where do we have $10,300 in Public Works budget to do this from?
This, I was told, will be coming, this was going to be as a capital repair, because I was told we could capitalize this.
So can Mr. Forsyth come and address if he can lend some of his expertise?
Normally, if it's over $5,000, the auditors checks to see if it's a capital expenditure, and it can be capitalized. But I mean,
So a repair on our old fire station is a capital project?
well, you got to be careful, because sometimes repairs and maintenance can be non-capitalizable.
Okay, so
You see?
that's fine. Mr. Banker, what I'm trying to get to is where we're paying them from, whether we're gonna have to pull $10,300 from fund balance, or if it's already enough funding inside of Public Works budget to pay this $10,300. Does anybody know the answer to that?
You would have to really look at every line item. Some line items may have it. You've over budgeted on some line items, and some you're under budget. And so later on in the year, we have to do a budget amendment. And when you're going from line to line, it's usually just the director and the city manager approves it. We're not. If it's staying within the particular department.
That's right.
Right.
Okay, so what it sounds like to me, one second, what it sounds like to me is that we can expect some type of budget amendment. If they have it within their budget, they will do that adjustment within their budget. However, the council needs to be fully aware that this may come back as a budget amendment project that we will have to pull out of fund balance, this $10,300. Yes, Councilmember DeShane.
This happened last year in November. How did this even get approved? Like, how did it get done?
It didn't get.
Because this didn't seem to come to council to do
This
it,
did
so-
not come to council. That's what Mr. King is saying. He
Right.
said he was instructed to do, he did, now the people that did it wants their money. So that's where we're at. So we're gonna make payment. We know that we are expecting a possible budget amendment. All right, I have a motion on the floor for the $10,300 by Councilmember Meeks and a second by Councilmember White Williams. All in favor? All opposed?
Aye.
Well, you have to pay them.
Yeah, you gotta pay them.
Councilmember Brooks, I didn't hear you.
No, you didn't, because we really need to get on the same page about paying items that did not come before council. Are we going to request the items come before council or not?
We have a motion on the floor to approve the payment of $10,364. $10,300.
We have to pay it. We have to pay it.
So you in favor?
I'm in favor, but I don't like the way it came before.
All right, we have a 6-0. Moving on to agenda item 10E, consideration and action to approve change order for DAF Concrete related to M Street Stormwater Project. I'm going to, Mr. King.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we have a change order before us.
So when we went in to clear out the stormwater drain there was some head wall work there. As they were working, there was a large sinkhole there where we noticed the drain pipe collapsed. So this is to repair that, actually replace it, and that's what the change order is for.
All right.
In a nutshell.
Madam Mayor, is this the large construction project that was done halfway down Elm?
This is in Elm Station.
Elm Street Station?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Inside it.
Yes,
Inside.
ma'am. As soon as you go in and take a right there on the left-hand side.
Okay.
So are they waiting for us to approve this change order before they move forward, or have they started?
No, ma'am.
They haven't started?
Wait for approval.
Okay, and then because of the delay in waiting for the approval, are there any,
So change order doesn't work like that. Our ordinance already says anything above 5% or $2,500 has to come before council for a change order.
That's not what I'm asking. So because they're waiting for us to approve, are there any safety issues?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
No,
that's
ma'am.
what I wanted to know.
And I know that it says that, but what is this gonna cost? How much is this change order gonna cost us? Is this gonna need another budget amendment?
It's in the budget. It's budgeted.
It's in the budget.
So, my question is, are we still under budget for this project?
Yes, there's money there.
There is money there. Okay, all right. Any questions, Mr. Mitchell?
Mr. Question? Yes, we know that we have some stormwater issue within that area there. Will that also, any way can be extended to fix some part of the issue for the stormwater issue somewhere in that area as well? While they're doing the process?
No, not part of this, no, sir. That'll have to be looked
Okay.
at additionally.
I have one more question, and I think, I'm hoping you can. I have two $10,000 mobilization fees on both of these, invoices. That's $20,000. Why would I pay them a second mobilization fee?
Because they're coming out again. That's unfortunately, in this business, that's just the way things are. It's kind of, on a smaller scale, look at it like this. When you go out to dinner now, you notice how they have that service fee on there. You know, they add that with the cost of fuel. This is to get the equipment, the people, any type of permits or anything they have to pull to get them out there. That's what that mobilization fee covers.
So in other words, because they're waiting on us, they're not just sitting on a job site twiddling their thumbs, they're on to the next one.
Oh, absolutely.
And when we're ready, they're gonna come back, which means they're gonna have to mobilize all their equipment
Again.
back on the site again.
Oh, okay. So so let's get to that. So in the process, the pre-process screening of this project, how come we didn't find this out prior to?
That I can't answer because I wasn't here.
Okay.
But when they went in and looked at from what I understand, when they went in and looked at the drain, they didn't see that. But as they got in and started working, I don't know if it was because of the equipment being in the area or what, or the weight. I can't say, but we did notice there was a sinkhole there. When they ran the cameras through, it was collapsed. And, you know, it's just one of those things we need to take care of.
So, in my experience working on construction sites, some things are sight unseen. You don't know until you get there. So I can understand that first $10,000 mobilization fee, why it's there. And then for this second, this one for $54,780, I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. This could be the mobilization for additional equipment. That's why we see that. So they wouldn't know unless they did a pre-construction site visit or they did a site visit. They wouldn't know that this sinkhole was there until afterwards. So
Can you tell me in the bid documentation, what protections is in it in regards to a change order? Like what is protecting us? Because I know that they have to come out, look at the site, do an assessment to the site, make sure, or tell us what, you know, what's going on. So I'm trying to figure out, how did we miss this, that now we have to pay an additional $10,000 mobilization fee, a second mobilization fee? Because I don't see paying them an additional, how long have they been off the site?
It's been a few months now.
oh yeah,
A few months.
you're definitely
So
gonna get a mobilization
why we
fee.
just got it?
There was a bunch of issues going on with right-of-way. There's been problems in that area with some of the neighbors complaining about stuff growing up over the fence line and whose property was where and where it ended. So all of that took time to kind of get all that stuff sorted out.
When did this project start?
It started in, trying to remember, it was
October 2025?
No,
October 14th.
October 2014?
That's when the invoice.
Well, that's
2025?
invoice, but that-
Well, it
that's-
started before then.
it did
Yeah.
actually start before then. No, I'll take that back. It didn't start before October because I wasn't here. This actually started
When you did the walk?
right after I got here.
February
So-
24th, 26th is the
No,
issue.
November what? When did you got here in November?
I got here the beginning of November. I don't,
Okay.
off the top of my head right now, I don't have that date, I'm sorry.
This is where you guys went and did the walkthrough to look at, you and Mrs. Bohilis and stuff, did the walkthrough to look at the.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Because
So
it
I
all
guess
started
I'm-
because Ms. Knight had some issues with, you know, all this bamboo in there, and you couldn't
Yeah.
actually even see the storm drain at that time because it was so much bamboo in there.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just trying to figure out our documentation prior to doing this job. What was in the documentation that protected us in regards to such, you know, we have a $54,000 change order here on a project. Not only that, how does that skew the bid, you know, with the change order? So I'm just trying to figure out, is the documentation in place that protects us?
So, once again, my knowledge working with construction, on construction sites.
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
Typically, if you take the lowest bid, it's not gonna be the lowest bid, because they're going to change order you to.
And, well,
I'm
this
aware of
is
change orders.
this
I'm
is
not-
done by DAF, which is our
Yeah, they're one of
on-call
our, that's right.
contractors.
I
So,
understand that.
they typically don't have a lot of contingency money in the initial bid up front.
Mm-hmm.
So when change orders happen, you don't have that extra money there as a cushion. So it's tended going to cost you a little more.
Do you know if they were the
Mr.
lowest? I'm sorry, Ms.
One
Mitchell.
second, Mr.
Do you
Mitchell.
know if they were the lowest, I'm not gonna say bidder, because they're one of our vendors, but do you know if they gave us the lowest quote for this work?
No, I don't. I don't know if that was the lowest quote.
Did we
Because
receive?
Falcon went back to them, they assessed it, and they said this is what the problem is, and then they came back with the price. So since they were already on the job, the change order typically would go to them.
So that we don't know if this was, this job was given to other companies to possibly do the work.
No, it's not
So
typically
all,
done
we
like
have,
that.
we have several concrete companies that we work with.
Okay.
That is a part of, just like with our engineering firms, we have several that is a part of the city that's gone through the procurement process and the bid process, and we got them the same way we got engineering. DAF is one of those individuals. I'm just trying to really figure out in regards to the original bid, what was in that documentation? Do you have a copy of that contract?
Not with me, but I can get that. Yes, ma'am.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
if it pleases the council, I'm happy, I'm not aware of this project, but I'm happy to assist. And if you provide the attorney's office with the documentation, I'm happy to give a legal opinion on this matter and make sure that, all the proper steps were completed.
Sounds like a winner.
Really quickly, have services already been rendered for this or?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do.
No, I mean, if you're saying you want us to go out to bid, try to get 3 companies to look at this?
No,
or-
no, I'm not saying that. I just want to make sure, I'm trying to see the process in regards to at the beginning, if we had any language in those contracts that would, protect us in regards to change orders and how change orders are supposed to be handled. If they're not supposed to go past a particular limit or things of that nature. So that was my only concern in regards to that question there. Plus the $10,000 that they want to charge me a second time for mobilization. And I'm trying to figure out the length of space in between, why it took so long. Why are we just now getting this? If it happened 3-4 months ago, how?
2 months.
2 months
Roughly
ago?
2 months, yes.
Okay. All right. So,
Front door unlocked.
recommendation,
Madam Mayor, I move we approve the change order for DAF Concrete.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilmember Meeks. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilmember White Williams to approve the change order for DAF Concrete related to the M Street Stormwater Project. Any further discussion from the council? Discussion from the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Councilmember Brooks?
Aye.
6-0.
Aye.
You said yes, right?
No.
No? 5-1? 5-1. Consideration and action to approve the updated flock agreement of the city of Hampton.
Madam
No.
Mayor, I move that we approve the updated flock agreement for the city of Hampton.
I have a motion by Councilmember Meeks. Do I have a second?
A second
I have a
motion.
second by Councilmember Cheney to approve the flock agreement for the city of Hampton. Discussion from the council. Discussion from the public. All in favor?
Aye.
I got a 6, Ms.
Aye.
6-0. Moving on to agenda item 10G, consideration and action to approve ordinance number 2026-10 to amend chapter 2 administration, article 7 of the Code of Ethics, section 2-307, Ethics Committee of the City of Hampton Code of Ordinance. This item is a proposed amendment to the City Ethics Committee's provision to clarify committee composition and strengthen independence. The ordinance expressly prohibits members of the governing body for serving as on the Ethics Committee and maintain existing appointment authority and procedural framework. The amendment is extended to promote transparency, avoid potential conflict of interest, reinforce public confidence in the city's ethics process. This item is sponsored by Councilmember White Williams. I need a motion to move this over to the Administrative and Finance Committee, ordinance number 2026-10. Do I have a motion to move this over to the Administrative and Finance along with the other ethics things? All right, seeing that there is no motion, do I have a motion to approve or to deny?
I make a motion to approve.
Second. I have a motion by Councilmember DeShane to approve and a second by Councilmember White Williams. Discussion from the council. Discussion from the public. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Did I get a 6-0?
5-1.
No.
6-0.
6-0. Mhm. Moving on to agenda item 10H, Council discussion on the City of Hampton procurement policy. The City of Hampton procurement concern stems from an outdated policy, weak processes, and questionable patterns of behavior. The current policy, last updated in 2024, no longer aligns with the modern procurement standards, market condition, and compliance requirement tied to public funding. This has contributed to inconsistent implementation and a lack of clarity across the department. In practice, procurement processes appear fragmented with limited competition, bidding, inconsistent documentation, and potential alignment with the city's charter. The repeated use of the same vendors over extended period without re-solicitation reduces competition and may lead to inflated costs. Additional information or relationships-driven decision-making raises concern of fairness and transparency. These combined issues increase the city financial, legal, and audit risk, particularly when managing state and federal funding. Without clear documentation and standardized procedure, the city may face challenges defending procurement decisions under scrutiny. Overall, this condition erodes public trust and highlights the need of comprehensive reform, updates the policy, strengthening process, and reinforcement oversight are essentials to restore accountability and integrity. The four key areas are outstanding procurement practices. The procurement policy has not been updated since 2024, considering 2014, creating gaps in clarity, compliance, and alignment with current standard. Insignificant internal control procurement authority appears aligned with the city charter with a responsibility potentially handled outside the proper structure, reducing accountability, lacks comprehensive procurement. There has been a lack of competitive bidding for over 7 years with repeated use of the same vendors, limiting fairness and increasing costs and risk implication. These issues suggest a pattern of informal decision-making and resistance to updating process, which increase financial, legal, and reputation risk. This was actually, I believe, put on the agenda by Councilmember White Williams. This is her opinion. This is not the opinion of the council. So we are in discussion in regards to the procurement policy. I do believe that the procurement policy needs to be vetted out more, and we need to see about updating the policy.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
May I make a motion that we instruct the city manager along with the finance department to review the current procurement policy and make recommendations to the council as to ways to improve it
All right.
and update it?
I second that.
So I have Councilmember Meeks to actually give this over to our city manager and our finance department to look into our procurement process and procedures and bring it back into the council by Councilmember Meeks and a second by Councilmember DeShane. Any further discussion from the council?
Yes, I would also like for the city attorney to assist in whatever.
They will.
Resources they need for this.
Yes, they will. Any discussion, Mr. Mitchell or Ms. Brooks, Councilmember Brooks?
No, Madam Mayor.
All in favor?
Well, we're not voting this discussion.
Yeah, we're voting. We have a motion on the floor and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Councilmember Mitchell? Councilmember Brooks?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
I have a question. So since there was no resolution tied to it,
We're just sending it over to?
Okay.
Well, exactly what they said. No resolution needed. It's going to be sent over to them.
All right.
All right. Moving on to agenda item 10I, council discussion and approval of resolution 2026-33 to host the first annual City of Hampton Mental Health Walk on Saturday, May the 23rd, 2026 at 9 a.m. The resolution would approve the support the first annual City of Hampton Mental Health Walk to be held on Saturday, May the 23rd, 2026 at 9 a.m. at the East Hampton Community Park as a city-sponsored public awareness, public engagement. The resolution further authorized city staff to coordinate logistic and operation matters associated with the event, authorize the mayor to execute related documents, and authorize the use of participant waivers and related risk management documentation. Need a motion to approve or to deny this resolution. It was sponsored by Councilmember Brooks.
I make a motion to approve.
Have a motion by Councilmember White Williams to approve and a second by Councilmember DeShane. Discussion from the council.
Yes, I just have one question. Councilmember Brooks, would this would be an annual event, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I just had another question. Are we going to engage the youth council with this?
Yes, ma'am, that is my desire. This is going to be a city effort event. I've already talked with our police chief, and he's reaching out to some others. Although we are kind of at the 12th hour, it will not be as big as it probably should be. Just want to bring some awareness. So I will get with Tova to see if there's any other element that I will need to make sure that we cover. City attorney has offered some really good recommendations, so I would like for this to be an annual event for the city of Hampton.
All right, so I do have a question for Chief, because I know that when the youth council was talking about doing a mental health walk, there was some discrepancies in regards to availability of our police department.
What Ms. Brooks relayed to me was we're going to do it at East Hampton Park, would require no road closure, very minimal staffing. We can probably do it with patrol units that are there. I think several of us would attend just because that's near and dear to our hearts in the police force. So it would be very minimal staffing. I know Tova and our community relations person at the police department, I think, can handle the social media and the flyers and things like that. And what Ms. Brooks said is kind of this being the first year, have a very small and quaint event, and hopefully it grows to where it would need more resources. But under its present, the way she's bringing it now, it's going to be very limited resources that it requires from either police, PD, or Main Street.
May I ask a question?
Yes, Councilmember Mitchell.
What would be the cost, since it's not at budget items, what would be the cost? So if there's a cost to it, I'm tired of people paying something and if something not budgeted, we gotta start focus on say, we need a budget amendment to make sure it's in the right category. So, I don't know what the cost.
I believe it will cost you your time. That's about it. So how much is your time?
Wait a minute, I'm talking here.
It has to be cost, because the police, if they're going to come.
I'm sorry, I believe Councilmember Mitchell, you were asking what was the cost, what would be the cost? I don't think a budget has been put together. I'm gonna ask City Manager Baker, has a budget been put together for this?
No, ma'am, not at this time.
So do we estimate how much it might cost the city in order to put it on?
Kind of wait to see what the scope of it is, and we can provide an estimated budget of it.
And what department are we gonna be pulling this from?
We currently, it would be probably a personnel cost more than anything else. I'm not sure what the scope or the intention of the motion is, so I don't know if I can answer that question.
All right.
I have a question for Chief Turner, and maybe Councilmember Brooks. So with having maybe one or two police officers, will they be off duty or on duty?
On duty. We would not need, with it being with no road closure, the only thing we may have an issue with is parking, just with the limited spaces we have at East Hampton. But we have 3 on shift, and we also have the community response team who they work a floating schedule to where when we do have events, we can reassign their shift to where instead of working 2 to 10 that day, we could have them come in from 8 to 2 and not have any effect on a budgetary item. The only thing
so you're not gonna have any overtime or anything?
We're not, and from what
anything.
it sounds like, I don't believe Public Works would. I think the only cost and this is just from my conversation with Ms. Brooks, the only cost that we may be looking at is very nominal cost in producing some flyers, and the police department could certainly absorb that in our community relations budget, because it is something that, like I said in the beginning, is near and dear to our heart.
Can I say something?
1 second. Let me ask, so the 23rd is on a Saturday?
Yes, ma'am.
So you don't think that Public Works will incur any
overtime either.
I would defer to Mr. King, but
Mr. King?
I don't know how, if they would need to assign someone. They have a community service person that works on Saturday, so maybe they were able to assist while they're already paying that person.
Mr. King, are you anticipating for this event to have any additional people that's not normally on duty on that Saturday?
No, ma'am. As the chief mentioned, with the community service folks out there, we already have Mr. Ken in, and it would just be, I would imagine, pulling some trash from the amount of water bottles that people would use. I don't imagine they're going to be serving any food. If it is some kind of energy bars or something like that, but I can't see much more than that on the walk.
Okay.
If
Councilmember
we do it as a combined with the youth council, they have a budget. I'm not sure how much is being used in their budget to.
So that's something that Michelle them can definitely look into and get with Mr. Baker and, but we'll figure it out. And we should not have to this should not have to be a budget amendment item.
No, I don't believe it will. I
Yeah.
think we can adjust the manpower accordingly, and we have extra water on hand and things of that nature, so I think we can handle it without a budget amendment.
So this is a walk, not a marathon. So, I mean, you might
It's
do
not a
2 laps,
5-hour walk.
and that's it. So.
All right, so I have a motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem White Williams and a second by Councilmember DeShane to approve Resolution 2020,
I'm sorry, I was waiting for my.
go ahead, come on, please.
Excuse me. Don Greer, 20 McDonald Street. I was just going to say, you mentioned parking, but since it's on a Saturday, I'm sure y'all could get with the senior center for their parking with the county and possibly the library. I think they may be open, but I don't think they have that large of a crowd, so that would help.
Thank you. All in favor?
I figure it out.
All opposed? Councilmember Brooks, Councilmember Mitchell, you in favor?
In favor.
All right, I have a 6-0. Moving on to agenda item 10J, council discussion and clarification on the vehicle take-home policy. Who is allowed to take a vehicle home? Is anyone other than staff allowed in those vehicles? And where can it be driven and for what use? I believe Councilmember DeShane, you put this on the agenda. Was this your item?
Yes, I just wanted to get clarification as to who gets, what is our take-home policy for vehicles? Is it only for essentials? Service people, is it for on-call? Like, is anybody getting to take a vehicle home? What comes with taking a vehicle home? Is there a gas card? Is like, you know what I'm saying?
So I know we have a section of our vehicle policy that is in this ordinance, and it tells you about the take-home vehicles. So it defers to all of our directors being able to, at their discretion. But I believe that Mr. Baker and can provide you with the vehicle policy.
The vehicle policy isn't.
Yes, I know we have the section. I was just saying if it was more than that one page.
It's available to all the directors to take home?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Several of them do not have that. But it does talk about the vehicle assignment, and there is a caveat in here with the take-home policy can be at the discretion of the city manager. So but specifically, it's for, the basis of it is that you have on-call personnel who are typically going out for police, for public works, for utilities, anyone else on a constant on-call basis is what it's designed for.
Okay, so I know sometimes we need to use the vehicle and we have to borrow a vehicle from, so I know we do have the extra vehicle from the old city manager's vehicle. So has that been given to a director to?
I'm not sure what.
So everybody here, that we are fully aware that the vehicle in question and was passed down to our community development department, as that department is goes throughout the entire community and does everything. So that's how that department ended up with that vehicle, because they are actually working within the community and going to different sites.
Is that documented somewhere? Because I couldn't find that.
What documented?
That it's been given to the community development department.
That's who's driving it.
There's documentation saying that has been, is so?
That's who's driving it. That's
Well,
correct.
that's who's driving it, but is it documented so? I mean, that's not what our policy says, that it should just be given to one specific direct. If it has been, has it been documented? I couldn't find anything, so I'm just asking.
I was unable
So
to
I
locate
believe like the
any-
insurance, the person has to be put on the insurance and all of that stuff. So that's the documentation. I believe that went to that particular person. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Atwater, don't they have to be added to the insurance and all that kind of stuff? All of the drivers? All of the employees, whether you got a vehicle or not? Yes. Okay, all right.
So I have a question. How are we know gas prices are through the roof. And every day I go to the gas station, I cry, but what are we doing to conserve money for having to fill up, I don't know how many city vehicles we own, due to the increase in gas. Gas is at least $4.30 a gallon. So I know there's been an uptick in how much we've spent, but are there any employees that have a vehicle that doesn't necessarily need to have a vehicle that could help save the city some money? Can we identify, is that number identifiable? Maybe not tonight, but at some point, could it be identified?
Today, I had, off topic of this, I had requested finance to do a study for us just to see a budgetary impact because of the uptick in gas prices, just to see kind of a trend rate, and also for us to be able to project if we're going to have issues in our across the line budget on all fuel that we purchase, which is diesel and gasoline. But I couldn't answer that question for you at this particular time. We do have Verizon also with the GPS, which has some reporting that we can pull and look and see how, gas consumption, it measures idle rates and different things, stop starts and those type of things. So I would be happy to provide that to the council.
And what is the mileage allowance? Like how far can a employee take the vehicle home?
The actual mileage is 25 miles.
But that's only on the police cars.
I believe is that across the board? Yeah, it's across the board for the city. I
No,
believe,
it's not
unless there's
across the board.
exceptions
It's
on-
just the police department.
Additionally, if it pleases the council,
Okay.
I just did some work on.
I stand corrected on that. It doesn't apply to all the directors on that. That's the police department policy on it.
I'm very aware of take-home vehicle policies and how there typically needs to be a different one for PD as well, because they have different, a lot of different procedural requirements that they have to go through. So I'm happy to take a look at this and work with Director Atwater to see if they're, to draft an amendment for you guys, for the council to consider as well.
All right. Moving on to agenda item 10K, council discussion on who can hire fire department heads. Mr. Baker, just stay right where you're at. And well, this might be an attorney's question. I'm not sure, was it Councilmember DeShane that put this on here? All right, so they're trying to get clarification on the discussion on who can hire fire department heads based on our charter and our ordinance.
Right. So under, I can just speak, I'm on Muno Code now, section 2-120, item D16, the city manager shall act as the hiring, disciplinary, evaluator, and removing authority for all city employees. The city manager shall have the authority to hire, fire, discipline, promote, task, assign and reassign duties, evaluate and adjust employee pay within the position classification and pay plan without first seeking the approval of the city council or mayor for all city employees.
And that is actually according to our ordinance. What about our charter in Article 3, Section 3-10? What does that say, or how does the charter impact what you just read?
I'm pulling up the charter code right now. Section 3.10 of the charter, is that the charter
Yes.
provision you're speaking to?
Yes.
It
Article
says
3.
on
And letter E, I believe it is.
all appointed officers and directors under the supervision of the city manager shall be nominated by the city manager with confirmation of appointment by the city council. All appointed officers and directors shall be employees at will, subject to removal or suspension at any time at the recommendation of the city manager, mayor, or any council member unless otherwise provided by law or ordinance.
But it's a recommendation.
So
Correct.
can you tell us how, so we know the charter supersedes everything. So
Correct.
tell us, I'm trying to figure out how does section 210, the first section, impact, or, we would like to know hiring, firing.
Yeah.
Who has the ability to make the recommendation to terminate?
So for hiring, all appointed officers and directors under the supervision of the city manager shall be nominated by the city manager with confirmation of appointment by the city council. So for appointment regarding, let's say the director of city planning, the director of HR,
We have to
he
vote on.
would appoint, and then that would go before
Right.
the council with
Right,
confirmation.
that's the hiring.
Right, and then all employees, we know Georgia at will, and subject to removal or suspension at any time at the recommendation of the city manager, mayor, or any council member. That's a recommendation.
I can't remember ever making an appointment for any
Madam Mayor.
director
Yes.
that came in.
That
We have.
section 310, in my opinion, and I'm not an attorney, but in my opinion, the last sentence says, unless otherwise provided by law or ordinance. And I believe 2120 is an ordinance,
Mhm.
and so it makes that provision.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Nail on the head.
All right, moving on to agenda item 10L. Council discussion and clarification on the community development duties, their job scope, reporting of that position, and the authority the position has over the council. I believe Councilmember DeShane put that on the
Mhm.
agenda.
So I brought this because I was working on a resolution, on an ordinance with L. And in it, the community development director decided to insert herself to say that they weren't aware that council was able to see ordinances or these resolutions that they're working on before publishing. And that surprised me because I thought that was my job to do that. And so
I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. You're saying that you and Attorney Wiggum was working on a resolution or ordinance of some
that I
sort
wanted to bring.
that you wanted to bring, and
The gas
you
station.
guys were having conversation.
Yeah.
How was our community development director included in that?
This was all done over via email.
Okay, so Attorney Wiggum included the community development director? So that is how she got to being a part of the conversation, right?
I'm not questioning how she got to be part. My
Okay.
question is, I was surprised to hear her interjection into the email.
What was the interjection?
Saying that she was not aware
Of,
of council being privy to be able to see these ordinances that they're working on before publishing. It was just the interjection. It just seemed forward, like that I thought was my job to do that. So I'm kind of confused. Is it for the community development director to correct council when they're trying to do their job?
so I think the question is if, when you guys were having the exchange in regards to you and Attorney Wiggums, as if if our community development director was actually offering an opinion about what was being said.
It didn't come across it. Could you read it wasn't an opinion.
It was an opinion.
I'm just trying to, give me a second, please. I'm trying to pull it up.
So what do we want? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm
can
just
you-
trying to get clarification, like.
So you have the right to speak with the attorney to get her to draft whatever you want her to draft. I'm going to assume if it is something within any department that you guys are going to be asking the subject matter experts
Well, they're-
on their,
yeah.
about their
Yeah.
opinion and what is the best way.
I For some reason, I can't get to the service in here. I can speak from my end. You know, you guys are the elected officials of Hampton, and our job is to assist you. And whenever you guys ask us to draft any type of legislation, we're going to draft it, and then we will give you our legal opinion upon it. I know on my end, whenever it deals with, you know, zoning, I'm going to include the city planner to get her expertise. If it deals with HR, I'm going to pull in Director Atwater. If it deals with budget, you know, pull in finance. However, you guys are the legislative body, and you guys, you know, any type of piece of legislation, in my opinion, you guys have absolute authority to view legislative items, especially the items that you guys are sponsoring.
Right. So that means that if you have something that you want to put on the agenda, of course, you can review it, you can do whatever you need to do in order to make sure it goes on the agenda as you would like for it to.
Can I?
Yes, Councilmember White Williams.
So I was made aware of the email, and it, I'm going to pull it up. Let me see if I can get it on my phone.
Was everybody included on this email? I can't remember what you guys are talking about.
When the director responded, she included everybody.
I can't get my emails to pull
But
up
yeah,
either.
it's kind of slow, and I can't get into it either.
May I approach?
1 second.
When Wanda responded.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. Okay. So, Attorney Wiggum and Councilwoman Duchenne and Ms. Wanda were copied on an email regarding the conditional use zoning.
In April.
Yes, in April. And Ms. Wanda replied on April 29th, as discussed with you at our weekly meeting, staff has edits and notes that this is a public hearing agenda item, and I'm not aware of any protocol for an elected official to review an ordinance prior to the advertised hearing. Please let me know your understanding of this process. Attorney Wiggum wrote, Councilmember Duchenne, apologies I missed your call as I'm in a meeting. However, I got your voicemail. Please see the attached requested ordinance. Director Moore has advertised the
I think
plan.
that came through first.
Okay, and then L replied, Wanda, yes, this is a public hearing agenda item per the ZPL sponsors, and parentheses, council always has the ability to review agenda items for their input as they are the official legislator, in parentheses, policymakers. It's the same with ordinances, resolutions, contracts, etc. It is a very normal process to allow members of the council to view items in advance to see if they wish for any lawful changes to occur. So
That's right, and
that's
so
what-
I think that's where the hiccups is that normally we have not been doing that. We just have not been doing that. And so I think that was the response from Community Development Director, was I wasn't aware that we are supposed to do that. So when AO gave her that explanation, I'm sorry, Attorney Wiggum gave.
You can call me Al.
You know, I didn't get comfortable, I'm sorry. Gave that explanation that if we're putting something on the agenda, we are able to see it, even though you may not have been doing it in the previous prior, that's fine. What needs to take place moving forward is, if you have something on the agenda, you want to see it prior to it. I mean, have something you want to put on the agenda that you're preparing, that you want to move forward with prior to it going to the agenda. You need to be able to put your eyes on it. So I think that's understood moving forward.
But I just thought it was kind of rude, disrespectful.
Okay, so I understand I don't think that is. I don't think, but I could be wrong. But I don't think that was the
You can't
what
take how
somebody-
I perceive.
I know, I'm not
So-
saying how you, I was talking about. All right, so moving on to agenda item 10, we have discussion, agenda item 10M, council discussion and approval of resolution 2026-34, honest and truthfulness in communication with governing authority policy.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution 2026-34.
Skip one?
No, we didn't. I'm sorry, Councilmember Meeks. So this agenda item has something in it up underneath. Let's see, what section is it?
Section E. I think they corrected it.
Let me see. Section
Jeff
E.
sent an email, yeah.
The ordinance. Yeah, section E. Needs to be changed to determine, as determined by Article 3, Section 310E, in accordance with applicable laws. So can you amend your motion to include that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I have a motion by Councilmember Meeks to amend his, or to motion with that amendment to it. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilmember Cheney. Discussion from the council.
Could you?
Yes,
Could you
ma'am.
repeat that
So
again?
the item that were just council discussion and approval, okay, what was that you just added? Because I don't see it here in this agenda item.
So if you go to page 2 of the resolution on
Okay.
page 2, items, section 2, item E.
Okay,
It says, as determined by the city manager in accordance with applicable laws and personnel policies. Instead of it saying by the city manager, it'll just refer to Article 3, Section 310E. I have a motion on the floor by Councilmember Meeks and a second by Councilmember Cheney. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Councilmember Brooks?
aye.
I have a 6-0. All right. Oh, we don't. Moving on to positive happenings. All right. All right.
Can I go first?
Okay, Councilmember Mitchell, I usually don't give people that's on Zoom a chance for positive happenings.
You gave it to me last month.
I did.
I am so happy.
So that's precedent.
Before it was precedent, me not giving it. Okay, go ahead, Councilmember Mitchell.
I am so happy that the direction that we're going into, the positive direction. Also, for the past 3 months, we have been leaving City Hall 11, 12 o'clock at night. This is the best time I've seen so far. And I want to thank you for the city managers pushing things ahead, and the Councilwoman Cheney, Tom Deshay, Councilman Keisha, Morty Meeks, and Ms. Brooks. Thanks for your wonderful service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Brooks?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I would like to thank the council for approving the mental health awareness proclamation and the walk, whatever I need to do to make sure that we stay within the budget, Mr. Mitchell, that we don't have to do anything else, and if we do, we'll take it out of your pay.
Sound like a plan. Councilmember Meeks?
I would like to bring attention to the Genealogical Society of Henry and Clayton County, who are housed in the Brown Building, which is 200 years old this year. They are putting on a promenade through history, a visit with the past, and it will be at 2 p.m. on July 25th at the auditorium in Locust Grove City Hall, which is upstairs. The event will showcase characters from all parts of Henry County in costume, recalling Henry County history. This will be after July the 4th, so it'll be great to view. And this year we've got 2 people from Hampton, Miss Betty English. From what I understand, the plan is for her to begin the program by reminiscing a bit, and then the characters come out. We'll have a Martin Luther King Sr. Is a gentleman from Stockbridge will come and speak for him, and other individuals from each city in Henry County. And I've been asked to portray the first mayor, Thomas Griffin Barnett, and that's why I'm trying to look like him. If it don't make it, I'll shave it off and buy one. But that was my positive happening. We are, Henry County is rich in history, and we need to remember it. I believe it was Miss Esma was telling me earlier that we need some historical, along with the historic commission, they have done over and above. But if we can teach our youth about the history in our city, it's very important that they be able to realize what a rich past we have. Thank you.
I was gonna say, was that on? Mayor Pro Tem White Williams.
So I know it's after Mother's Day, but I really hope that all the moms in the room had a fantastic Mother's Day. My positive happening is my daughter is graduating from Hampton High School on Friday. So I have two, one out the house, one on the way, and two more to go. So, but congratulations to all of the seniors who worked hard throughout not just Hampton High School, but everywhere. It's tough being a teenager. I can't even imagine what they go through. But
It's been that long?
It's
different.
It's different. It's very different. But hats off to them, hats off to the parents, and I wish that, I pray that they are successful in their next endeavors.
Councilmember DeShane.
So for me, I just came through Mother's Day with the flower shop, was very busy. We had a great Mother's Day. I want to thank Miss Dawn and Miss Cindy for helping me in the store. They kept me straight. Today, Betty English stopped by the store and had asked if I could do some floral arrangements for that promenade. And she had mentioned that she used to teach in that building
Yes,
at
ma'am.
one point in time. So, yeah, so that is good. Just an update on a couple of our residents, Katie Queen and Luann. Both are in two separate nursing homes, are coming along. Keep praying for them, especially for Katie. She's doing rehab, but she's looking good and she's coming along.
Okay.
Councilmember Cheney.
My positive happenings is I have 2 more days of school, and I'll be able to attend the next 40 meetings for the city. I'm just teasing. You have to have a great sense of humor. We've had a lot of meetings, but I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad to see some dirt moving forward at the fire department. The new fire department and McBriar Park is looking amazing, Mr. Lewis King. So thank you, Chief and City Manager, and we're gonna move forward.
Mr. Baker. Don't talk to
Yes,
Chief.
Tova.
Don't talk to
Where'd
Chief.
Tova go?
She left. Or did she?
Come back.
Come on back in here, Tova. Mine is the National Day of Prayer. That one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very good thing for the soul, and I appreciate you putting that on, organizing that, getting all the preachers in there. There wasn't a single fight, I don't think. I do appreciate that, and that was very touching experience.
Yes. Can I make a quick comment? Mr. Paul called me today and said, girl, I felt like we was at a Church of God in Christ. I said, get the
Holiness Church.
Amen, amen. Chief.
Madam Mayor, if I could say 2 things. One, I was at a conference last week, and from your prayer on July the 15th, 2022, one of the guys said, oh man, y'all where the shooting was, man. Y'all's mayor stood up and prayed in front of everybody. How cool was that? So that's 4 years ago, and it's still remembered. Next, I think we'd all be remiss if we didn't all give Miss Wanda Bird a hand. She's a retired employee. She looks wonderful.
She does, she does.
So I did everything that everyone said. I really want to commend the Main Street Department. Holding us down for these months by yourself.
Yes.
Sometimes, you hear all the complaints, but we don't want to give you complaints. We want to give you accolades. We want to make sure you understand that you are appreciated, and we understand, and we're thankful that you're holding us down over in the Main Street Department. Help is on the way. Yes, it is. Yes.
Who holds me down is Public Works.
Yeah.
And I forgot, but my Public Works team is a team that helps me do it.
Amen.
I wore Public Works hat for 3 days straight, and I was honored to wear my Public Works hat because they hold me.
Amen. See, that's team. That's collaboration. That's teamwork. That's right. So we don't need an executive session tonight. We'll do that later. Thank you, God. And I need a motion to adjourn. So I have a motion by Councilmember Dees and a second by Councilmember White Williams. All in favor? I have a 6-0.
Put them cards up.
I did a little better today. I did.